I see OpTic making a trade with Scrap and Dashy.
That could happen.
With LAT, you have a group of guys who I think if you put on that roster, it makes it pretty viable, actually. They just become better.
I think you and 3 Diamond 3 players could beat the new Surge team.
Jesus.
Oh my god.
Average place in the 2.7 or whatever it is. Like, by the time it's all said and done, they're going to be 1 and 2. Done and dusted.
Welcome to Dope Check, episode 14. I'm hitting notes today. That's how you know it's going to be a good show. I'm here joined by Tactical Rab and the EU GOAT, Trey Zero. Guys, how are we feeling on this wonderful day?
Trey's looking good. He's just out of bed, I hear. Looking a little bit baked, but apparently that's not true. Based on
no, I'm not. No, I am far from fried. I am far from fried.
Man, it's teed up and ready.
Trey, we need you locked in, baby, because Rostermania is happening. Pilly is back. Run it up.
You know I'm locked in. You know I love this. I don't love COD, but I love this.
Is that
we're locked in?
Who plays the game anymore, Trey? Come on, let's get real. It's about watching the shit, watching the drama unfold.
If you're watching on YouTube, by the way, drop a like, drop a comment. Who looks the best today? Is it Trey, Rab, or me? Drop it down low, but like the video for sure. Let's get this running up.
It's competitive on the show. You know?
It really is. It's a lot of handsomeness going on here. Yeah, and you guys will see the triple peaks in Toronto hopefully very soon. But we have so much to talk about today on Dope Check episode 14. Let's jump into it. Let's just jump right into it. Let's speak on the tweet from D-Real talking about the expansion of the CDL to 16 teams. Let's jump right into that. So, Easy Mac, our very own Breaking Point Easy Mac, says it's time for 16 teams. We have to get it done this offseason. And then a fan says, who's going to pay the buy-in for the league? There's plenty of interest in the spot. You'd be shocked. And then they continue their exchange with a confirmation by D-Real in the end saying, heard that too. Activisions are the only one saying no. Reactions?
This guy Connor Chambers, I think his name is, from Toronto, also like quoted this and said like, yeah, this is facts. So yeah,
I heard about this like 2 years ago.
Yeah, go on, Trey.
I heard about this 2 years ago. Not gonna say who I heard it from, but a pretty valid source. There was multiple teams wanting to come in, and Activision shut it down. Big teams, big players that they could have got, big money, and they turned it down. Reasons being unknown. It was a meeting I had actually, and I asked the question like, are more teams coming in? They said, teams are interested, they want to buy him, but I'm pretty sure the league don't think they're ready for an expansion, which, no bullshit, I'm gonna agree with. I'm going to agree with that.
I'm going to piggyback a little bit off of that as well. We've heard on this show, and we've actually broke news and intel on this show of teams interested in having a spot in the CDL, right? Other major esports, esports organizations wanting to be part of the CDL and having interest. But, if you really think about it, considering now we have some intel from Trey, and also we have confirmation from D-Real and also Connor Chambers, again, reliable sources, basically. I think it seems kind of odd that Activision doesn't want the expansion. It could, if I had to speculate, possibly because they're converting over soon enough, in my opinion, over to like the Microsoft World League. Maybe they're waiting for that to get situated and Microsoft to take over the handlings of the league before they add on a few more teams. That's just kind of that's one angle to look at it that makes a little bit of sense. Otherwise, I don't know why Activision wouldn't want more participation, more money, more exposure, and more large organizations part of the CDL.
My read, I guess, is that they sold these teams the world. You know how Crim6 described this bloody PowerPoint presentation that Bobby Kotick and the boys put together? Like it was going to be God's gift to the earth, and you're lucky that you get to pay us 25 mil. The issue is that if you sell more franchise spots, you can't sell them for less than that because otherwise it's going to devalue the current franchises what they have. But like, how the hell could you sell it for more? Because everybody knows that what you sold these teams on is bullshit. So that's the challenge that they have. Also, I guess my kind of question is, if we did have 16 teams, because I think 16 is kind of like the optimal number as far as I see it. It's how it was back in the days that Trey were competing and all this stuff. You could have 4 groups of 4. The brackets made sense. You could have a 32-team world championship with 16 of the best challenger teams, 16 pro teams, 16-team double-in bracket. Like 12 just doesn't work in the same way. But given the talent consolidation, like I was looking today at the World War II season, and there was like 14 teams that were respectable. And then there was Epsilon, who were dog shit, and then there was Tainted Minds, who got spat on in their respective groups. So there was like 14 teams that could hold their own kind of, and that was there wasn't as much. It wasn't as top heavy in terms of talent. Like if we added 4 more league teams, would it actually make for entertaining matches? Because unless the format was to change to what it presently is, and we actually did more games on a weekend, like I really don't want to watch Seed 13 versus Seed 15 right now, because Seed 12 versus Seed 11 is bad enough.
I think that's a very, very valid point, Rab. Like if we expanded at this point right now, maybe earlier in the first couple of years of CDL would be a different scenario, but doing it right now, I think it would just make the league more top heavy. You'd have just more teams similar. I don't want to throw them under the bus, but I'm saying like Paris Legion, or Vegas Legion, excuse me, Carolina, who are pretty much have become development organizations for the better teams and better organizations in the league. I think that problem would just get worse. The people who have the money would just pick up the talent, and the teams that didn't have the money would just be developing challengers players, and it would just continue getting top heavy. So I don't think it'd actually solve anything. It would just be more teams getting mollywopped, more challengers teams essentially getting pulled up, then mollywopped, and pretty much a rotation, a cycle of what we have now. I think there's an integral problem with the CDL, with the distribution of talent and how people are drafted, and that's a question that needs to be solved within the whole schematic.
I don't see an issue with it. It happens in every single sport. Every single sport in the world.
Not true.
What do you mean?
Because there's a drafting system, so that talent doesn't get pulled automatically to the best team. There has to be some format to like distribute talent, because then over time, right? Consider, Lord willing, the CDL continues 2, 3, 4 years, right? How much distribution of talent do you get in 4 years, or does the problem actually get worse?
Mean, there's teams that are richer than others. There's teams that are poorer than others. That is literally the exact same thing in every other sport. Yeah, there's a drafting system, but guess what? That guy that gets drafted can get brought out. Teams are just richer than other teams, and teams actually just want to put money forward that other teams don't want to put forward. I think adding 4 more teams in, I say 2 of those teams, maybe one of those teams become a top-heavy team that acquires more talent, and the other 3 just are happy being here, as long as they get paid for being here. I look at it like the Premier League. It's always the same, always the same people bringing in the same big players, and it's always the same lower teams just getting paid from those. I think what the biggest issue is in the league is no one's paying buyouts anymore. There's no trades, there's no buyouts, there's no nothing. It's just, we want this player, but he's under contract. We'll just wait till he goes out of contract. There's no like actual competitive. There's no competitive like charge from any team in that aspect. It's when they do bad, they'll pick up a challenger player instead of like inquiring about buying someone out or something like that. I think obviously, money's a bit tough like that, and teams ask for a big buyout for players. But I don't know. I think if you added more teams and these teams actually want to be competitive, like they would actually, like OpTic, for example. You see how many times they've been rumored to buy a player or something like that mid-season or something like that. They want a player, but then they don't get that player because the team doesn't want to sell, which is fair enough. But I don't see a problem with adding more teams, even if they do get thrown to the bottom. Because, like you said, it creates that adding, talent to the bottom team, seeing it out, and then those players go up. I think it's just the same in every single sport in terms of, I look at it like football, would there be a player from Burnley who's getting relegated that gets put on a Premier League team this season, a better team? Yeah, for sure. that's just the way the world works. There's teams that want to put the money in. There's teams that don't want to put the money in.
I agree with. Oh, go ahead, Rob.
I was just gonna say that.
Like, if the teams that do come in actually commit, then it's fine. Like, if we get 4 more organizations, because right now the league is so top heavy, not just in terms of talent, but in terms of which organizations take it serious. Because right now you've got like half the league paying bare minimums, half the league still paying super maxes. At least like 4 or 5 teams still paying super maxes. 2 teams, 2-3 teams kind of in the middle, or whatever the case is. Like, if we get 4 more teams that will pay minimum salaries, then it doesn't help anyone. But if you get 4 more teams that actually might come in and say, you know what, actually, we will buy out Scrappy, and then, you know, we're just going to fuck around and slap our dick on the table and take this serious, then, like, all of a sudden, it's getting serious, you know what I mean?
Fuck?
So,
Rab, I would love to see that. Just an FYI.
yeah, you know, like, if Stocksman puts up the funds, the 25 mil, then, yeah, we will be there in the boardroom making the calls.
Yeah, no, my idea more or less was I would love to see more teams in, of course, right? More talent in, but I think there has to be some adjustment in terms of where talent gets distributed to. Because again, consider like the NBA, for example, the worst performing team, which is usually the smaller market teams, will get to draft a superstar player or the best player out of college to then bring attention into their market and make it better and bring eyes to them and marketing, and they can sell jerseys. It's a way to make the lower teams incentivized that there's an opportunity to do better. The CDL and other esports as well, they're guilty of it. I'm not going to just single out the CDL. It's a problem amongst a lot of esports, but if we're talking about our league, which we care about, we want to see it the most competitive, and clearly we're seeing this problem begin to happen where, again, the top 4 teams are just the best ones. We need something implemented to make challengers into the pro league more, I don't know, more diversity, more spread, and there's a chance that these lower teams don't just coast, pay minimums, and don't really see a return, which is why I think in turn, why they do pay minimums and why they don't have any incentive to do better.
Well, to be fair, I think the CDL as it stands, like, kind of lied to a lot of people saying that, you know, profit was going to be here. They're not seeing the profit, so in turn they've had to pay people the minimum, which I think that's a CDL fault, to be honest with you. I think if you look at Minnesota, for example, they done, you know, I'd say they were a team that actually put up a fight in terms of salaries and stuff like that, try getting the best players for the first 2 years, if I'm not mistaken. Realized that, like, fuck, we're wasting a shit ton of money here because we're not making any money. And then now they don't pay as much. Same goes with a lot of orgs, really. Take London, for example. They spent 2 million plus year 1 for salaries.
Right,
fuck knows why. Fuck, yo,
that was
bro,
the time.
fuck
Didn't
knows
call
why.
it 300k? Sheesh.
Fucking hell, everyone was on 300k. Poor old Trey went over there, fucking trying to revive his career on the old 50.
Damn.
Everyone else is walking around in Dior jackets. I'm strapped up in a Target tee. But seriously though, like, where are we in the world, where COD players are getting paid this much? Because the return's just not there. Like it's just not. We know it's not. Inflation is crazy, or, like, you know, in the COD market. I mean, you know, shout out to everyone getting your bag, but, like, fuck me. Like, it's actually wild. And then the teams complain saying that, like, they're not making any money, or, like, they're paying too much. Yeah, you're the guys offering the contracts. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
Irresponsible financial decision making for these organizations over the last few years, but, you know.
Yeah, but we do what we can. But again, I would love to see more teams come in if that was a possibility. But it is sad to see that it's getting basically blocked by the organization that's supposed to be wanting more interaction, more teams. Microsoft World League, we hope it happens. Who knows? But speaking of the league, speaking of the coaches, the league, and all the drama that we've seen, there's so much to talk about. So much happened. And I think with the last show we did, episode 13.5, Rab, which you were not here for, which is why we called it 13.5, me and Trey decided to stick to the roster stuff and save the drama for all 3 of us, and you specifically to be here. So we missed some drama that day, but let's catch up, right? Scrappy versus Drazah.
We back, baby.
We back, baby. And I loved Breaking Point, whoever's idea this was, to tweet out the Scrap vs. Drazah card. Gold. Comedy. You're hilarious, whoever that was. I love it.
I didn't realize Scrap's been running Drazah's pockets.
Honestly, Scrap is his father. A lineman put that all
Like,
together.
low key, I thought this would be a bit more beefier, but it looks like Scraps are absolutely violating.
They do seem. I mean, again, the way Drazah talked about it, it seemed like he just had Scrap's number the entire time, and he was running him online. He was talking about how he knew the kid for years, and he knows how he really is. But yeah, the numbers don't lie here. They kind of favor Scrap, which makes this back and forth even more interesting now that this came out.
But these guys can't stop. Like, even there was a tweet from Keeks the other day, and it said Team Natural or something like that.
Oh yeah, don't click on her replies. Fuck me. Oh
yeah,
my
but then
days.
she said that actually that wasn't related to the whole Darian thing. But I was like, I don't know. That was a bit.
What does
too
it
good
mean
to be
though?
true, as far as I'm
Like, what does
concerned.
it like? What
I
does
don't know.
it
She was
mean?
saying it was related to some TV show or something. I don't know.
Yeah, but like
I'm calling cap.
we all know.
We're
It's just
still
some
playing
tweet.
around. We're still playing the
Yeah,
game.
of course
Hashtag
we are.
Team Natural. And then I
course we
went
are,
to
but-
click on her profile, and it was private, so I had to request to follow her. I don't think she said yeah, but I don't blame her. To be honest, I wouldn't allow me to follow her either.
I don't know, man. Oh, so
It's right. It's all right, Rob. Whatever intel you need, I got you.
Yeah, all good. I know where my sources come from.
Jumping
I mean, look at this card.
Yeah, jumping to the Drazah. This was the one that, like, I thought it was dead, right? Everyone went home. Event was over. We had like a day or two of calm, and then this clip of Drazah calling Scrap a shit stain comes out. So let's take a listen in case anyone didn't hear this. I'm sure a lot of people did, but let's just refresh the memory for once.
Because their lies, you know, people are gonna. Who hates me is gonna accept their lies.
I bet any headphone users, rip, bro. I didn't realize how loud his mic was. Give me 1 second. Holy shit, it's loud. There you go. My bad, yo.
It's truth. That's fine, because I can live with that.
Why is he reading
Because I'm
that?
fucking rich, handsome, I have a house. I don't care.
What? Oh,
Pick
behind.
up on you, pick up on you, pick up on you.
Who cares?
One shot, dead.
Like, who? Hello? Who fucking cares? No one gives a fuck. I'm rich. I don't care.
Apparently not.
I do what I love and I win.
Oh, one of them must.
So I fucking run this shit. That's the thing too, chat. If you're gonna get personal with me, at least lock in the next event. Don't get top 4 like a fucking shit stand. Like, I don't like that. At least let me play you. Don't go home early.
Probably.
No one wants to see that. Hey, bro, you got blessed major 1, bro. Don't start talking crazy like that. You're not like that. And I know he's not like that because I've known the guy for years. I know he's not like that.
I think we'll stop it there, right? Because you got the message, basically,
I love
right?
this clip so much, man. I love this clip. It's so good. That, like, the fact
Hey,
that
that money thing, though.
And everything, and the
Nah,
money thing. Oh,
that
it's
money
comedy
thing.
gold.
That money thing, mate. Oh my god, I wanted to
Wait,
throw
where's
my
your-
monitor out the window.
Where's your money? Where is it? I might start.
Where's my money? Safely in the bank, not on my fucking desk, mate. What the fuck are you doing?
Oh, that's so good. Yeah, why is Draz flexing your money? I might have to
Why
just have a little
is
rack
Draz flexing money to Scrap? Like Scrap ain't got P2.
That's true. That's true. I mean, okay, to me, my take on this is very simple, right? I love the shit talk, right? I'm Mr. The shit talk makes COD exciting and fun. I'm all about it, right? I think we've essentially gotten to the point right now. This is Drazah's villain arc. This is like not the beginning of it, but this is a development phase of the villain arc, right? He's our new Patty P. He's our new Aches. He's the active Aches, right? And then Scrap, I don't know what he is exactly. Maybe he's our Scump. I don't know yet. I've been calling him as the next face of the league, but every face of the league needs an anti-hero. I think Drazah is our Aches, our anti-hero right now. The money in the air, the shit talk, calling him a shit stain, telling him he's not really like that, running his pockets. This has all the sayings of a beautiful COD rivalry that we need.
Honestly, Trey, like, I know your DMs maybe weren't looking pretty a couple of weeks ago. Can you imagine the shit in Drazah's DMs right now? You just gotta respect, like, someone who's willing to take all of that heat and just doesn't care.
Oh, for
Like,
sure.
Whatever you
Listen,
think about Draz, man, he makes things
No,
interesting.
listen. Like I said, everything's great. I just thought the money thing. Like, you ain't little baby, bro. Put it away.
Man,
We're COD gamers, bro. Put the fucking money away.
You see him shooting bodies, Ace, as well. You can bring up that clip. You don't have to
yeah.
play the audio or anything, but just run through the clip because they played a wager against each other, a couple of series of an 8s match or something. And yeah, it was the next one. And oh my god. Drazah, you can't beat this guy in 8s. Good luck. If you play him in 8s, you're getting your money taken. But here he goes, just
top bridge, under bridge.
I mean, they were just cheating each other's body the whole time. There's been some good CDL rivalries between players over the years, but I think in the CDL era, this has to be the best, if not right up there.
Yeah, I have to agree because it's not some random fucking bottom tier pro talking shit. It's actually the best of the best on two of the best teams talking crazy to each other. And it's gotten personal, so it's not.
It's hella personal,
yeah,
bro.
Yeah, it's not just for show.
Stuff.
It's real, and that's what makes it so good. Everyone knows that in Toronto, there's a small smidgen of a chance that someone throws hands, and that just makes the event that much better. That's what I gotta say.
Ain't no one throwing hands, bro. One person throws hands, they get banned. There's no hands being thrown.
But you get what I'm saying? There's an aura of a 0.5% chance that exists, and that just makes everything better.
The worst thing that's gonna happen is someone's gonna step to him and just say something to his face.
Him
no one's even gonna push it, bro. No one's gonna push. I promise you. The legal ban.
Wait. But Trey. Or the two little nuggets, the little girls, they just be running at each other, and then they just,
yeah. I already said that.
You know what I'm saying, bro? I've talked about the CDL boxing league, and listen, it could be guy or girl. I don't discriminate. This is an equal opportunity zone for me, right? The CDL boxing league, guys or girls, don't care. Let's make it happen.
I think I've got Darian taking that one. No, I can't lie.
That's a tough one.
Darian's got the reach advantage, you got to think.
The reach advantage? Fucking hell. It's like Inspector Gadget.
No, but wait. But time out, though. Keeks has mom strength. Y'all. That's a big deal. Yeah, it does. Dad strength, mom strength. There's a mom will go crazy.
Hashtag team natural, so she's not roided up like Darian is.
No, that's true.
So,
I don't know. At the end of the day, it's two nuggets running at each other, and it'll be some good entertainment. So I want it to happen for the cause, for the culture, right? For the culture.
Bro, calling them nuggets is insane.
That is wild. Bro.
It is actually insane.
Anyone that's below 5'3", you're basically a nugget, right?
A nugget has a different meaning in my vocabulary.
Yeah, same.
Right. It's called. There's words that can switch meanings. There's slang. Things happen, right? We switch words meanings up. Anyone that's really short has short limbs, right? They're just little nuggets. That's what it is. Okay. Y'all thinking too much about this, but I also want to say that we did have a response from Scrap on the previous one of calling him a shit stain. It's kind of a throwback, a subtweet saying how he's rent free, going back to their initial exchange where I believe it was Drazah who said rent free, right? Or was it the other way?
I think it was Scrap initially who said it in response to Drazah.
Oh yeah, so it was a rent free, and now he's saying again, oh yeah, we rent free. So he kind of doubled down with this rent free thing, but I don't know.
Yeah, all of that money in Drazah's hands, and none of it is from Scrap because he's living there rent free, brother.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's true, but it's kind of true both ways. But man, this is juicy. I think it's leveled up to another level here. They play each other the 21st of April. That is the day to look for in the qualifiers. It will mean something, and there will be trash talk, whatever happens. But what really matters is when we get to Toronto, because last year in Toronto, that was the scene of the FU Drazah chant going around.
Mm-hmm.
And even at the time, back then the beef wasn't obviously what it was today, but even then, LA Thieves, when Drazah was on there, they weren't especially well liked, and the FU Drazah chants were all over the shop. This year is going to be crazy.
Yeah, this year's going to be one
if
of the
they play
each other.
They better.
I mean, honestly, I hope fans just leave it to that though.
I want Drazah to come out to those hands up, just absorbing the power like he's Goku with the spirit bomb. That's what I want. I want him hands up, just fuck you, Drazah, and he's just walking out like, bring it on, bring it on. Yeah, and he
does the flex.
He's just about it, and then he slams whoever he's playing. Oh, I can't wait. I think Toronto's going to be one of the best events, not only because it's Toronto and it has been continually one of the best events, but there's drama, there's great matches going into it. Speaking of the next event, right? We have OpTic, who just lost their last one. But you have some optimism on the OpTic pod with Dashy speaking on what happened after Major 2 and kind of the ups and downs going ahead. Let's get the volume up. This one might be a little bit quieter than the last one. So if I destroy your ears, headphone users, I'm sorry.
6-4 and 3-2. I mean,
it doesn't help too that like it's Simp and Abe, they were having like legacy events they were from.
Yes, they were.
Yeah, Simp
They
was
were
going nuts.
having.
That winners final, dude, when Abe started taking over.
So that's why I'm also like, I'm looking at it like more optimistic because I know that, and even AG says that he could have played better, I could have played better, you know what I mean, a lot better. So, and they had like legacy events and they barely beat us, or like not barely beat us, but like all the maps were like
Mad
winnable.
close, yeah.
Yeah, they were close, dude.
And they were frying. So I'm like,
yeah,
if
dude.
we
When
just-
when Abe got, I think Saturday, Abe was like fucking had that fucking super game.
yeah,
But then the next
Karachi?
day, when I saw Simp do what he was doing, I could not fucking like. I was like, what the fuck? Like,
I feel like we had-
he's
yeah.
like he was in such a flow state that I was just like, fuck.
Yeah,
this
It's
it
one
was-
of those lives where like everything goes
Fuck.
away.
there's the 13th
Everything
is
goes away.
insane.
Yeah.
And we still lost by 10 points.
Everything. You get stunned, doesn't matter. He still like gets the
He
shot.
wasn't
through.
getting-
So, some people in the chat are saying it's kind of cope. I think I'll take the spearhead on this one just because I mean, I get the optimism that Dashy has because it wasn't, they didn't get blown out. They did get beat, but they didn't get blown out. But for him to assume that if we're getting to a Sunday, FaZe aren't going to turn up again and Simp and Abizi are not going to be as locked as they were that Sunday, I think is a little bit, not faded, but like, it's a little misinformed because it's Sunday COD and FaZe typically do lock in. Yeah, they've lost a few, they've won and lost many, but they're always there. I think with this team,
you know what I mean?
you know what I'm saying? But
So also didn't have a good major by Cell standards.
agreed. Yeah.
I also think that was probably one of the. I think that was. I said this multiple times. That's probably the worst FaZe have looked as a team in terms of how they're playing the game. But they were very good individually, and it carried them across. They had good teamwork, but like you look at FaZe, it's constant teamwork. All this like they don't really like the games are close, whatever like that. But like Cell had a bad major by Cell standards, and you don't expect him to have another one of those. So if he turns up, RIP everyone, I guess. Because
yeah.
The whole like we could have played better type aspect. Like if we played better, we could have won the event. Like yeah, for sure.
Take your chances. You know what I mean?
If I had two wheels and a fucking handlebar, I'd be a fucking bike. So you know what I'm saying? Like I understand where he's coming from, but like that's your opportunity to beat, in my opinion, not the greatest looking FaZe team. I feel like that was your best opportunity to win an event.
Yeah, like they've come third, they've come second. Obviously, their optimism is next time we're going to go one step further. But the way I look at it is that you had a series from Kenny that you're not going to get in the grand finals of the next major. Like that was the best series Kenny has played all year. So the idea that Simp and Abizi had a legacy series, it's like, well, sure, Simp certainly did. But you also got that from Kenny. So it's like, and Fred and Dashy says, yeah, myself and AG, we didn't play as well as we could have done. It's like, well, bloody grand finals are a major. Like, let's play better maybe next time. It's the most important series you got to play. So I see it from both angles here. I think there is some optimism. The point that I would make is like, OpTic just have to make sure that they don't go forwards thinking, actually, you know what, we're probably just as good as FaZe. They just caught us on a bad day. It's like, that's not the mindset. The mindset is, we're not as good as FaZe. We need to lock the fuck in. We need to work harder than they are. We need to put in more time than they do if we want to beat them. That should be the mindset. I don't know if that is the mindset. If the mindset is, well, we're 5-0 or they're 5-0 against this year, but you know what, Simp and Abizi just had a good series. We'll get them next time. It's like, I don't think that's a healthy mentality going forwards. And I hope that their mindset is, we need to do everything it takes to become the best, because right now we're not there.
I'm gonna disagree on one thing you said, that Kenny, this is like the only time Kenny's gonna have a series like that. I think Kenny's a high impact, high pressure player. When it comes to a Sunday, a Saturday, a big game, a big moment, that's when Ken is gonna give you the numbers, right? When it's online and it's kind of like wiffle waff, kind of like random games, Ken is, I'm not calling him mid because by no means is he mid. He's an OpTic playing with the best of the best. But he's just like he's a good player. But when it comes to crunch time, I think that's when you get the best Kenny. So I would argue that's a little fugazi what you said there. I think Ken, if we see him on a Saturday, late Saturday or a Sunday again, he's gonna be frying like he was. I think
Kenny's frying. All I'm saying is that he literally dropped 109 kills in the grand finals, which if Simp didn't drop 111 was literally the series record on the year. Like Simp broke the series record for kills in a 5-map series. Okay, it was a best of 7, but it's still a hard point, so it was still the same order. And Kenny literally broke the record in that series if it wasn't for Simp also breaking the record. So that was literally like the best series that anybody had played all year up until that point, apart from Simp's series. I'm not saying Kenny can't turn up, but I'm like, yeah, unlikely to get 109 kills from Kenny again. What I'm saying.
I'm going to say it comes down to the other guys where it matters more. Kenny's going to give you on a Sunday what you need. It comes down to the other players on that team on a Sunday as to how you're going to win that series. And I think, yeah, Simp, you can say all the excuses you want. End of the day, right? Dashy said himself, AG said himself, I'm not secondhand sourcing at this point. They're saying themselves they didn't play that well. So it really comes down, I don't think to Kenny, I think it comes down to how Dashy plays and how the sub duo play more than anything else for Sundays to be OpTic's, like for Sunday to be an OpTic win, you need the other guys to come forward and perform, because I think Kenny gives you that any Sunday and we'll see it throughout the year. That's what I think happens.
I think there's also like not a danger exactly, but it's like every time a team places seconds, there's always a lot of talk about why they didn't win, which I think is true from both sides, right? Because a lot of OpTic fans, and I understand this, what they'll say is, damn, OpTic came second and played really well. They beat Toronto, they beat New York, and yet all the talk is OpTic getting second, right? Which is fair because New York were third, Toronto were fourth, and there should be talk about why those teams couldn't go one step further. But I think my perspective on this is that FaZe have just won the event. New York won last year's World Championship and another couple of events. Toronto just won the first event and an event last year. For OpTic, the other top 4 big team, they haven't won an event in 2 years. So I think regardless of what you think about the fact that OpTic maybe get more eyes and more criticism because they're OpTic, I think that is justified because they don't have the results in the recent 24 months that the other teams have. So like in some sense, the other teams get a bit of a pass because they won more recently. Whereas OpTic, the pressure just mounts and mounts and mounts, and every time you don't win, people talk about it. So I just wanted to say that, really.
Yeah, I mean, I just brought the stats just one time, just to speak on them one time. Pred 0.84, Shotzzy 0.89, Dashy 0.78, and least damage Pred. So I do think I will say there is some, it is a little bit of cope, but there is some truth to the fact that FaZe was having a legacy series and OpTic was generally underperforming. So hopefully.
But FaZe have been doing this. Like it's not a legacy series. It's not like a one-off. FaZe do this every time.
13 kill streak, and then Abe also had moments where he just looked unkillable. I'm not gonna say they.
Yeah, but we're talking about 2 of the best sub players in the world. It's not like a legacy series. They're just fucking good.
Listen, I agree with that. I'm saying I think if you had them on a scale, right? Who performed where? OpTic and FaZe. FaZe was performing up here. OpTic, if this is the middle, FaZe was performing up here. OpTic was performing like right here. So I think.
Yeah, no, I think. For starters, I think team comp wise, I think, like I said, FaZe weren't the best. I think Saturday's OpTic teamwork wise is better than FaZe's teamwork wise. Yeah, the players had better individual performances, but like we see this, we see these moments every event from Simp and Abizi. I think people are lucky Cell had a kind of an off event.
Yeah, that
was negative in the finals. You don't see that every day.
That's what 100%.
I think people are very lucky that Cell wasn't feeling himself this event, because if he was he was actually losing gunfights at in listenings, he said dead and then he got pissed on. So that ain't happening at Major 3, bro. Expect a 96 rated Cell card.
This next event too gets a lot more interesting because again we talk about OpTic FaZe and is that going to be the next grand finals, but we have such a new map set and new modes, and a map is likely to come out of the rotation. So the same way Toronto got dethroned very quickly after Major 1, I think that might happen again Major 2 to Major 3. We might see another team be the best team, and who knows, maybe FaZe don't like these new maps. It's a whole new. It sucks kind of in COD because there's no consistency. It's basically a whole new game. It's a Major 3, and it's who learns it the best and just who's good at that kind of map and that kind of COD. So kind of interesting, kind of weird. But I
think
want
it does depend a bit on the map set changes going forward. Yeah,
100%.
We saw that affect things after Major 1.
100%. But what we could hope for, again, at least in the top 3, is OpTic FaZe in Toronto. Because in the Toronto Major, all I want to see is Toronto and FaZe play each other one time. That's all I need in my life. I need that once, and then I need an OpTic FaZe final, and I'll be a happy camper in Toronto. But speaking on the 2 best teams, the 3 best teams, let's talk about some of the teams that aren't the best. Some of the teams that have been underwhelming, and some of the teams that have been, in polite words, shit on. So let's go to the utmost team that's gotten the shit on the most so far. Bottom team, number 12, clearly had to do something. We have this tweet from Boston Breach. Thank you, Asim 6. First reactions, guys.
What do you want to say?
Listen. Can we just
Asim.
announce it? Can we announce it all together?
What?
Asim, Slasher, and then just get rid of their assistant coach for what fucking reason?
It's not like they brought anyone else in instead. It's like, you know what, Josh?
When
we're
I
not
heard
enough
coaching
here.
change, I was thinking Zed's probably gone. They thought, you know what? The main coach isn't the issue. It's got to be B Sport, Josh, the assistant. The fuck is going on over there?
What is going on over there? Do they have any idea what they are doing? That was
They've
the one
not
for
got
me.
a single Scooby Doo about what's going on over there, and it's honestly like, yeah, we can talk on this. They might get better, they might get worse, but you know, if they get better, fair enough. Roster, but what the fuck?
That was the one for me that it's like maybe there's a perfectly valid reason, as PD says in chat, that Dens and B Sport, their jobs were somewhat overlapping, so they got rid of B Sport. But it always feels a little bit friendship cheese when Zed and Dens, the boys that have been fucking around with these dog shit rosters for the last couple of years, as much as I like them, I don't know if I say that they know what they're doing.
Team done reciprocity. No
The boys
shock.
are back in the day. Guess what? Zed stays on. A little bit interesting, no? So, you know.
Where's my
also,
friends?
Doug apparently is getting involved as well. Apparently, Doug sent some art and he's stepping in and calling the shots. He was roasting Zuma last night for saying, basically, he was like, Zuma's on the Gok 9000 for slobbing all over Asim despite getting dropped, and Doug was towing the party line. So it's all some juicy stuff right now behind the scenes at Boston.
Yeah, okay. I just wanna put out the fact that this is just like an insane change in my opinion, because if you actually, KD is one thing, so there were criticisms on, Asim has the lowest KD on the team on average, right? But if you really watch the respawns, a lot of the times, a lot of the clutch kills and a lot of the clutch plays, rotations, and game-winning stuff were happening through Asim. And I know a lot of people who are not maybe, not Zuma fans or whatever it may be, think it's just cheese and like, this is all Tommy making up a conspiracy. But it wasn't just Tommy reacting very poorly to this change. You even had Clayster responding to the tweet like, Lamo, what the fuck? Because it definitely was not Asim who was playing poorly on a lot of these maps. And then you have, I think we have the Slasher graphic as well. Then you have also the thank you Slasher. So then Slasher gets dropped too. And the only reason Boston even was getting...
You can't see this on screen, by the way, now, if you're trying to present.
Oh my God. L
screen.
Producer, hit me with the L. Chat, hit me with the L, hit me with the L.
Yeah, that's a lace in the chat.
That's a lace for sure, because I was showing this Asim graphic and talking about it. That's my bad, guys. My bad.
We're good. We're back.
But yeah, no, Asim and Austin get dropped. But Asim is your glue, right? He's your glue player. And then Austin is your IGL plus the only reason why you even got any kills in search. So, to me, this is definitely the most L move rumor that I've heard so far. Austin getting dropped is the most, I don't know. That's the most unforgivable drop I've seen so far. Because without him, I don't know how well you're going to play in S&D. I don't know who's going to be calling your shots. Who's going to be, You got rid of assistant coach B Sport Josh, that no one's even like respectfully, no one's heard about him in the last year. No one even knew. I don't even know he's assistant coach. To be honest with you, I think he helped in S&D once in a while, but like, what the hell is going on in the Boston camp? That's what the hell's going on.
You want to go, Trey? And then I'll pop in.
Listen, all right. Let's not act like, Slasher and Asim together. They don't have a terrible record together. All right. But if you're going to drop one, don't drop them both. All right. You choose one or the other. All right. I think we can all agree, and I think they know it too, that apparently them two on the same team doesn't work. But dropping Asim is kind of crazy. Kind of fucking wild. Unfortunately, that's Boston Breach for you. Because I don't know what good stuff they've got over in Boston, but they've been chiefing it a bit too much.
It's all legal over there.
The thing that done my head in was getting rid of B Sport Josh. All right.
Euro cheese,
Someone said,
Euro cheese.
Nah, it's not that though, yeah. But like, what did I say? If the team's not, if you're doing fucking terrible, all right. If you're doing terrible, you look at the players, all right. Oh shit, we've made a change. Fuck, we're still doing terrible. Guess whose idea that is? Boom. Then you look at the coaching staff, and then you think, all right, they might need a change over there. And they thought, you know what? We'll listen to Dope Check. We'll get rid of the assistant coach. Because clearly he's the problem. That is like Man City just having an absolute stinker and going, all right, we might have to get rid of Pep. And then they go, you know what, we'll get rid of the other guy. He's clearly affecting Pep's management.
That is like, it's basically a Fall Guy thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's like
bro.
Dens needed someone to blame, so he dropped B Sport. That's crazy.
It's like, fuck. Someone said in the chat, Dens' and B Sports role kind of like move over. Well, is Dens a coach or is he a GM?
I thought Dens calls the shots. You know what I mean? Like if he's in the same role.
So he's a GM. So how does assistant coach and GM overlap? It don't make sense. Because the last time I checked, the assistant coach has nothing to do with what a GM does. That's why one's called a general manager and the other one's called assistant fucking coach.
You know, I don't know. This is in movies sometimes. This is a movie sometimes, but like a little guy tries to call out a guy for a fight to prove he's tough, and he goes, "You!" And there's like a big buff guy standing, and then it goes, "Me?" He goes, "No, you!" And it's the guy behind the guy who's like this little short pipsqueak guy. That's what happened, right? Like Dens came in the room, he pointed, he's like, "You're getting fired," and then Zed is standing there like, "Ah, fuck, it's my time," and then he goes, "No, not you, Zed, move." And then B Sport Josh, innocent B Sport Josh, is just standing behind him, and he's like, "You're fired." It's dude.
Someone said in the chat. Someone said in the chat it was nothing to do with Dens and B Sport roles overlapping. All right, so explain to me how the coach and the assistant coach overlaps. FaZe do it perfectly fine.
You guys are making so sense. But I think it's just Fall Guy cheese.
Guys are making no sense.
That, like, the team was dog shit, right? And my opinion is that you can make a case for anyone to be dropped from this team. I don't really understand the crazy backlash in Asim getting dropped from this roster. He's been a good player on multiple teams, but I don't think Asim is a special player. Like, I said this about Havoc when he was a player, that I think this is true. I know you're going to be wilding, but like, I think this is true. Asim is a solid player that can do a good job. He's an absolute CDL caliber player. But he's a pretty mid player. He's a mediocre player. He's been dropped from many teams over the years. And I know you guys are laughing, but like, I'm about Asim. He's been on 5 different franchises. He's probably going to join his 6th in the relatively near future. There's a reason why he's seen as a replaceable asset. You look at his numbers. He wasn't frying. I know that it's more to it than just the numbers. I don't think this is on Asim. I do think the decision is indicative of like Boston being absolutely wild because they're admitting a terrible mistake. They brought Asim in after stage 1. They've dropped him after a stage. Like, that is pathetic. That is embarrassing to make a decision like this. But I don't think that any of these players were safe in their positions. The team was terrible. They were top 12 again. Like, nobody should be safe in that situation. The way that Boston look at it is the way that Toronto have developed their teams. Boston don't want to pay to buy out Simpadabisi. They want to develop their own talent internally. They see Snoopy as a talented player that is more talented and has a higher ceiling than and I would agree with that. But I want to see more from Snoopy, and the question is, why haven't they been able to develop him as should have been the case? Snoopy has the talent, but he has not shown really any improvement so far this season. Is that a Snoopy problem? Can he not be saved? Possibly. Is that a Slasher problem, who's meant to be the leader? Maybe. They've got rid of him. Is that a coaching problem? That also might be true. My feeling is, I know that Pal said this in the chat earlier, that Slasher maybe just didn't want to play with Snoopy and was like, this guy's beyond saving. And guess what? You get dropped. I don't know whether Asim thought the same way, but my feeling is that they've decided to stick by Snoopy. They feel like that's the option. And that might be a terrible decision. But what I will say is that I still commend them for trying this on some level, because people always roast organizations for cycling through the same players that have some decent success in the league, but nothing crazy. Teams get roasted for that because it's friendship cheese. As soon as one organization actually does take a bet on a younger player that they think has potential, then they get roasted for it as well. So you can't win. So I will commend Boston in some parts, but I do think that the vast majority of what they've done over the last couple of months has been embarrassing.
Okay,
It's like I said,
wait. I have the stats here. Okay, I have the stats, and I have a lot to say, and I need to cook this man.
Stats mean nothing on team.
No, not stats. Map counts. Sorry, map counts. With Asim in hardpoint, they're 8-6. With Capsule on their previous roster, they were 6-8. There's essentially no change. Their control is better the first major around. Their S&D was exactly the same in stage 2 and 1. So Asim clearly brought something to their respawn mode, right? Their hardpoint mode. First off. Secondly, you're commending a move when you're getting rid of the vets for an unproven, unseasoned rookie who just has a shot. I'll argue there are quite a few challengers players that have the shot but do not have the strategic mindset and the COD knowledge to succeed in the CDL. Snoopy, I'm afraid, so far, has shown this problem. I.e., there's an example this year of him rotating to the wrong hill mid-game. So, if we're going to be honest here, I think, as I've been yapping apparently to everybody, they had to make a choice. Are they going to... Asim, I think, is in the crosshairs. He said himself it was an odd man out problem, which is itself so stupid. But then you have Slasher, an IGL, a proven leader, a world champ, who you're dropping, and I think sacrificing for a kid who's unproven, that you franchise tagged on and you invested so much into, who is not going to bring you wins and hasn't brought you wins. So in my mind, Rab, I can't say this is a commendable thing to do. The commendable thing to do...
I'm not saying I agree with the decision.
It sounds like it.
But I'm saying it's commendable.
It sounds like you are.
I don't think I would ever drop Slasher in this case. Slasher would be the one player that I would keep in this scenario.
So how can you say? So how can you say you tipped them for what they did?
They had to get rid of fucking someone
to improve. Somebody had to go, and I get their point of view. I just don't think. I'm not sure it was a good decision, but let's be honest, they were top 12. Like, they got to do something. The feeling was the Slasher system wasn't working. Slasher's system is meant to, like, I love Slasher, but they were meant to be good at search, and they were 3-9 at search this stage. So I can understand the mindset of like, well, fuck it, let's blow it up and go down a different route. What I will say is, if you bring in Beans, your comms are going to be the worst shit I've ever heard in my life. Beans can communicate, but bloody hell, Snoopy doesn't say anything. So many times you go to a listening with Boston Breach, Snoopy's mumbling call-outs, he doesn't say anything for another 5 seconds, his teammate dies. And I got Beans coming in there just, yeah, blah, 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 dead, shit on. Like, that's all you're going to get. Oh my god, it's going to be comedy listening to them, if that's what happens. Go on, Trey.
Alright, listen. When Asim joined the Boston team, what did I say? They don't get any better. You go find this in Dope Chef episode fucking 7 or something like that. 6-8 to 8-6. That's not a good difference.
Wait, what? That's a positive difference.
Come on,
Too
bro.
marginal, bro.
That's a no. Wait. Time out. If you're
Yeah, it's a positive. Yeah,
it's
for
a positive
sure.
difference, and if you're unchanged in search, which again you play 2 hard points and 2 searches, one control is the least relevant. It's relevant, but it's the least relevant. If you're doing better
Right,
in
so-
hard point, then it matters. What?
If it was like, you know, fucking 8 and 4 or something like that, I'd at least give it 8 and 6 to 6 and 8. It's not fucking great, is it?
I mean, they were shit the first time and shit the second time. At least you're better shit than worse shit. The fuck you want?
I mean, I'm just saying, like 6 and 8 to 8 and 6. Like I was hoping you're gonna give me a better stat than that.
Yeah, bro's gonna cook me on the numbers, saying I'm gonna see this, and then drops that stinker.
And
I'm
for anyone
like,
saying that's literally getting better, yes, that is getting better for sure.
but also
it's
you gotta
not
factor in
fucking-
competition they've played, and you know, so many variables.
It's not great though, is it? Like, let's be real. I thought I was gonna get hit with like 10 and 4 or something like that.
Before we continue, I want to read their tweets out as well. So let's read their tweets, like their FA tweets. I just want to put that into the mix as well. Obviously wasn't expecting this. Pretty speechless about the situation. At the end of the day, I gave it my all in that short period of time, and it wasn't enough for them to keep me for the year. And then you have Austin Slasher. FA, I'll be game ready whenever. Just want to compete with a team. We'll probably be turning the stream on eventually to go more into it, but I obviously need a few days to get out of this place. So I have a question here, right? This is the thought with seeing both of these. Do we think that Asim or Austin Slasher will end up on another team? And if yes, where? And if no, why?
Bring up their stats real quick, by the way. I just chucked them in the chat. Just no agenda, but I thought it was
Huge
quite a
agenda.
good way to analyze it. No, there's no agenda. This is for Slasher too, and I love Slasher, but I'm happy to criticize him when he's played poorly in certain situations. But Caller Delco put together the stats from their time on the team, just in multiple angles, really, to look at. I think that there are options for these players. Go on, Trey.
I was gonna say Slasher and Asim should be in the league, just not on the same team.
Yeah, definitely league caliber players, you know. But it's like I don't.
It's
really
like
get the outrage.
bro,
over
it's like
them
I
being
said
dropped.
though. It's like I said when I mean the outrage over them being dropped. Like the team they're dead last in the league. Something's got to change. You just got to put faith in the coaches. They obviously don't have faith in the assistant coach to make the decision, so they've left it all down to Zed, who gets dropped. They definitely deserve to be in the league.
The percentile, by the way, the closer to 100, the better. It's basically how this works.
I can see them joining teams and making them better. I just think they shouldn't be on the same team. And it's like I said, when Asim joined Boston, yeah, he made them better by whatever, like, you know. But to make Asim more impactful like that, you needed to make a 2-man change. He's not a Hydra that makes the team 10 million times better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I
get that, but he was your glue, which is why I think they were better at hardpoint, because you do have a player that was being your glue, which you're missing before.
What is this glue? What is it? How do we define glue?
Wait.
What is this cheese?
Rav,
term?
are we acting like we don't know what a glue player is?
Yeah, but
Karma was a glue player. Envoy
is a glue player, but he's been dropped. So explain that.
Who? Asim?
If he's a glue, then surely you don't drop him, no? Then the team falls apart.
Exactly, Rav. Thanks for saying the obvious, man. That's the point. You dropped your glue player and you dropped your IGL. Who the fuck do you have left? You have Preston, world champ. I'll give him his flowers. He was playing really well in the last split, but he was playing particularly low damage. If you look, he was on a lower damage of engagements, so that was problematic. Then you have Snoopy, who's running around like a headless chicken. I've said this a million times. So you have 2 guys who don't calm that much. Preston is known to be a good second man, not the IGL or anything like that. So what do you have left? You literally just spewed and then countered your whole argument with the exact
No, I didn't.
thing.
I did not do that because
Asim is the glue, yet you gave up your glue player.
No, my point is that people cheese so much on what the glue player is. They literally just choose the guy with the worst stats and call him the glue. Like, it's the same way that Priester last year on New York was the glue. Because, like, Hydra was carrying the fuck out of them. Kismet was great. Skies was great. P-Dog didn't have great numbers, so he was the glue. And maybe that's true, right? But now he's on this team. And it's like, well, Priester's the glue. But then when you drop Capstan and bring Asim, now Asim's the glue. It's like, bro.
No, okay, let me address, like, people in chat are saying the same thing you're saying, and it's fade to take here. Super fade to take. You adjust to what your team needs. That's the best players can do. P-Dog is one of the best players. He's one of the best players in CDL of all time. Do we disagree? Anyone disagree? One of the best players in the CDL.
One of the best records, for
yes,
sure.
one of the best players in the CDL of all time. Okay, a great player that caliber, that knowledge can adjust. Lamar, for example, adjusts this year. Awake wasn't shooting per se as he was expected to. Lamar had to step up in terms of KD and kills. P-Dog on New York knew his role, played his spot at X Factor and did the right plays and got them into a championship position perfectly. This year, on a different team, his role changed. He had to slay, which is why this stage he had their best respawn KD. Or excuse me, I think he had the best KD on their team. I don't know if I'm spewing
I
there.
trust you, Ace. You never get anything wrong. So,
hilarious.
Be honest.
So he had the best overall between the qualifier and the tournament, best KD on their team. So P-Dog has changed what he had to do on this team because he's one of the best players that we have in the CDL. Asim comes in, makes them better in the respawns, and their S&D was more competitive this time around than I would argue the last time around. Even though the record's the same, it was more competitive, not great though. So it's I'm going to say overall, horrible dropping to drop your IGL and your Glue player. Horrible.
Do we discuss who's coming in instead first, or do we discuss whether?
I just wanted to know.
Let's do it.
You told me they got worse at control.
Control is the one game mode they got worse at, yeah.
Asim's at control stat. I mean, Slash's control stats are shocking, but Asim's control stats might be even worse. He has, well, to be honest, it's bad either way, but he has the lowest tier caps per map in the league because 0 is the worst.
But this is my point. They got a tad bit better at hardpoint and worse at control. Like they didn't get better at respawn.
Slash also weren't moving on the map.
Yeah, your hardpoint. I think your hardpoint just matters more overall. Which you can NYSL team. Your S&D and hardpoint matter more than the control. So I'll say them getting better at hardpoint is proof as to what Asim's impact was for them is more positive.
At least he was moving on the map. You know, like the same.
I have a different meaning to getting better at hardpoint, and it's not by a 2-map differential. I think they still fucking sucked, regardless, and the stats proved it, and the placement proves it. I don't think they actually improved. I think they got worse, and worse, and worse, and worse, and worse. The time went on. That's why they're bottom of the league, and
Esports looking good though.
He does look handsome here. I will say he looks handsome in his pick. Yeah. Let's read the before we jump into who the possible replacements are. Let's read Boston's response back to the idea from the GM.
Right, this is so funny. I swear, Dent has written some shit like this before. I'm having deja vu right now.
I'm trying to do Aussie accent.
Oh please.
How do you do it, mate? As we evaluate our performance at the mid-season, at the midpoint of this season, we recognize we have fallen well short of our expectations as well as our fans.
You sound like Ziddy trying to impersonate me. That's what it sounds like.
Our goal at the start of the season was to have strong performances at each major to put up us in the best position, mate, to win our champs. Unfortunately, with only 4 majors this year, time is not on our side, and we believe to reach our objective, significant change is needed. We extend our gratitude to Aston, Asim, and George for the dedication to the breach and wish them success in the future endeavors. Statement from Dale Taylor, GM, Boston Breach.
You actually killed that. Near the end, you actually killed
I don't know. At the end, I realized I had to pull it up a little bit. I had to extend the vowels a little bit. I figured it out, but
that was good work.
Appreciate it. Thank you, brother. But do we think super PR? I think it sounds super PR, bro.
No, this is all straight facts out of Den's right here. Like he hasn't missed once.
Also interesting stat from Lyman coming in ever since from Major 1 to Major 2, they were -1 in respawns, so they actually were worse.
Oh wait, what are you taking into account? What was that again? Say.
From Major 1 to Major 2,
yeah,
they are -1 in respawns altogether, so they actually got worse.
Well, I just counted them. How does that make sense?
I trust Lineman.
And I do too. Listen, I trust Lineman too. I just counted them off of the website. How does that make sense?
You can ask Lineman. I believe they lost one more map. Yeah, they lost one more respawn map.
Oh,
I thought they also.
Oh no, you're including controls, right? You're saying respawn, not hardpoint.
Yeah, I'm including the respawn.
Well, yeah. Oh yeah, you gotta include it. I agree. I said this to you. I said they got actually worse at control. I agree.
No, they just got worse in general. Yeah, it's just facts though. It's facts. The numbers are there. Numbers don't lie. Men lie, women lie. Numbers don't. Facts.
Facts, Patty P.
Why is Ace acting like control all of a sudden doesn't matter? I'm not saying it doesn't matter. I'm saying hardpoint and SCD matter more. That's true. That's why teams will get good S&D players or good hardpoint players. No one's going like, oh, that guy's so sick at control. That's never been said ever when picking up somebody.
Listen, the only way to make that Boston team better, the only team to make that Boston team better was to make a 2-man change at the time.
So,
and guess what?
Doing it now, baby.
The only way that Boston team got better when they brought an Asim was to make a 2-man change. That's the only thing you could do. And it's like I said, when they made the change, I said this 1-man change ain't gonna do shit. Because why? I'm smart as fuck. If there's one person that is never wrong route, it's me. Predicted FaZe to win Major 2. Said everyone was gonna be ass. That's it.
God, this guy's too good, man.
I need.
How much do we pay you again, Trey?
You know, we have Austin in the chat and said, if only someone thought of that. And there we go. I think we've hit the nail on the head.
Sheesh, it's all going on in
And
the chat.
we have Dylan attached in the chat as well saying,
I think we hit the nail on the head. And guess why? That's because me and Austin, very smart players. Very smart.
See you on this podcast, in the podcast and in the chat. We're a high IQ podcast.
By all means, Austin, if you want to come on by, you can say your piece. It's Yeah.
If you Austin, if you want to come on, feel free to come on. But yeah, speaking on the rumored replacements, I don't think we didn't have a tweet for that one, so let me find that really fast. But we can speak on the rumored replacements while I find that.
So like Pentagram, it seems like the rotation tweeted the Pentagram is like a done deal. Or like that is basically going to happen, which is cool. I mean, like he's been close to getting a chance before. He's been around the academy. Like I respect it. To me, it's not setting the world on fire, but I understand. And then there's the AR piece, and this is where to me I'm like, bro, how are we going to replace Slasher with what he brings to the team with this? I like Beans, and I've said before, I think Beans deserves another spot, another shot in the league, and I think he does deserve it. And I think he got harshly treated. I remember when him and Gunless were going into it, probably why Gunless was so angry on socials last night, if Beans just getting a spot back. But I think after all that, people were clouding on Beans. Aches is always clouding on Beans. I think this guy's talented. But I also think that there's an argument that Cammy could also make sense there. But it's like, I don't know. When I heard the rumors that Slasher was going for one of these two, I couldn't really believe my eyes.
Beans,
I would have been happy having Slasher and Beans on the same team.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think that would be good. I don't really know why. I like Priester, but I don't really see why he's stayed unless he's happy to toe the party line that Snoopy is the truth. I know I defended this shit earlier, but I defended the idea of it. I don't think I defended the theory, because I've said from day one that like if I was going to make a change to the AR duo, it would be there. There was even rumors, by the way, that they were going to put Priester to a sub. That's what bloody Trey said on this show a couple of weeks ago, and they haven't paid this guy anything for this advice, and they still
because they keep listening to me. They keep listening and doing stuff. I said if the team starts playing bad, they have to go for the coach. My bad, B-Sport. That's on me. All right, I apologize. I didn't think they were going to go for the guy behind the scenes. I thought they were going to go for the guy in the scenes. That's on me. That's on me. And the Pentagram pickup, fair enough. Someone should have picked this guy up 3 years ago.
I mean, he was on Thieves for a time. I think.
Yeah, but like he was it's like Wardy going to that New York team. You know, you ain't gonna play.
But like, let's break this down really simply, though. Really simply, very simply. Is Beans better than Slasher? No. Answer is no.
No.
He might possibly give you more in control this year. Maybe in respawn. That's arguable.
Sniper's a ban this year as well.
Yeah, exactly. I'm saying arguable. S&D, he's not playing better than Austin. Beans is good at S&D, but he's not better than Austin at S&D. Austin's generational at S&D. So, okay, one, that's not an equivalent. I take Austin over Beans. Very clear. Then, is Pentagram better than Asim?
I mean, we don't know.
I mean, you don't know the answer to these questions until it happens. Like, if you'd have told me before the season
Well, no, here's my argument for this. My proof, not my proof like it's fact, because, yeah, once he's in the CDL, he's shooting against a whole different caliber of player, so it's right. I can't say it with 100% certainty. But who was beating who in challengers? Asim with FC Black was beating Penta with Boston Academy. So who was dominating clearly? So to me,
yeah, but is this? I mean, Pentagram's been doing it in challenges for years.
He has. Okay, this is actually one thing that Ina actually put me onto, that's facts, that Penta's placings outside of Cold War have not been that great.
All right, we'll just bring Dylan Rex in then.
Fuck
He's
it.
playing with Doug though. He's got the Doug teammate cheese.
This is my point though. Like, this is my point though. We have this conversation many a times. Like, we know how good Slasher is. I think we can all agree with that. This team wasn't made for Slasher. So this team might be better with Beans on it. We don't know until they play. I'm not saying Beans is better than Slasher or anything like that. I would have loved to have seen.
To be fair,
I would have loved to have seen Beans and Slasher play on the same team. I think that would have been a great AR duo. Also, we don't know how Pentagram's going to play in the league. We don't know if Pentagram's better than Asim because, you know, Pentagram, it's the same way when we say, oh, this player doesn't work on this team. He joins another team. Boom, he's a fucking star.
One other thing in the chat, someone reminded me too, like, yo, didn't Omid say you could pay us and we'll help with visas and shit? Where the fuck is Hixie? Where's... okay, you got rid of Asim. That's great. But why don't you at least get someone on some equivalent scale that's proven? Why not bring Hixie up? I don't know. There's a lot of interesting decisions being made. I think the team of Beans, Pentagram, Priesta, and Snoop, dude, that's like a nightmare you wake up from as a COD fan. Like, dude, hey, mom, I had a nightmare. What was it? Son, what was it? This team was formed. I was coaching this team. And it was the weirdest roster I've ever seen in my life. That's what that is. It doesn't make any sense. So,
right, if that team works, like, fair play.
Yeah, exactly. They could shut everyone up. They could shut everyone up.
What are we doing here?
100% they could shut everyone up. But I don't know. I don't see it working per se. Maybe I'm just a hater. You know, okay, but we didn't answer the question I posed. Slasher's now a free agent. Asim's now a free agent. Do we see them on another roster or not?
I mean, that's the useful thing for them is that, like, they are unrestricted. So, I mean, what do they get? A couple of months of salary paid from the team, and then they can just go where they want as soon as it happens. There are teams that should be interested. I mean, do we want to start with Slasher? Because the Slasher, there's a couple of... I mean, the obvious one is probably Gorillas. But I don't know if Slasher
they can't make a change.
There.
Yeah,
they can't make a change either.
No, they literally can't make a change.
Wait, what's the reason, Trey?
Money.
They literally have their budget is $0.
Bro,
they are not spending a single dime.
Okay, we'll chalk that one up. Would Slasher want to go back there anyway? It's a question. But on paper, like, Slasher for Assault makes a lot of sense, and they've got some talent there. Outside of that, I do think that Surge is a consideration because iLLeY is out of there, it seems, as we'll discuss over the coming minutes. I don't know what's going on with their AR situation, but Arcitys is gone. And, okay, maybe they want to stick by Abuja, and really at this point, Abuja should be a main, but, you know, fuck it, right? Like, they've been messing him around the whole year, so that could be doable. I don't know if I see Slasher and Ghosty as an AR duo. I think they could work. Like, I think
that's if I'm...
I don't know if they would butt heads.
If I'm Austin, my number one pick would be to go to LAT.
Right, JCap is not letting him back.
I understand. No, listen. I'm not speaking. I'm not speaking on the politics, right? The politics aside, right? I'm speaking on simply looking at rosters, options, and saying, who the hell do I go to? LAG would be great too, honestly, because I think that team clearly shows on land they're good, and with an upgrade in their main AR role, could be very good, especially with someone who's, you know, intelligent, strategic, and can get them on the right path with young talent that's has potential. But then with LAT, you have a group of guys who I think if you put Austin on that roster, it makes it pretty viable, actually. They're a good team already. They just become better. So
they probably need some search help as well.
Yeah.
Someone said LAT need to drop Joe and get Asim. The brother ain't even played yet. Give him a break.
I do love this take as well, that Joe's like, I saw people saying this on Reddit today, that Joe is so bad that they're going to drop him immediately and get Asim. Which, like, give him some time. But that's the thing for Asim, right? Is it's like, to me, it's Thieves that makes sense. I also think that Vegas is a consideration.
Purge J Nasim for Asim?
Yeah, it's got to be contemplated. I mean, if you look at the numbers, this most recent stage, pretty similar, to be fair. But Vegas probably did play easier competition. But they've got the existing chemistry, and I don't think I would do it, but I think I would be open to that possibility, because if Purge is bringing comms and this type of value, Asim can definitely also do that. Like, sure, I said he was mid and mediocre earlier, which I still agree with, but he does have some very positive attributes to his game, and he's always been a very good teammate, a very good communicator, and a valuable asset to rosters that he's been on. And I think that Vegas could benefit from that. I know that Attach was in the chat earlier, so just something to think about. But I don't know.
I mean,
if
he
it's
said
clear
they're
that
not
they
making
walk
a
in
change,
now.
but I don't believe any of that bullshit because Zed came out 2 days before they made a change and said, "No, we're not making a change." Boom, next year, we fucking made a change.
I would think
Never trust anyone.
I would think for Vegas specifically, it would be a good landing spot for Asim. Honestly, again, being a viable glue player that can get some kills and be in the right spot. But I don't think it would happen until after Major 3. I think Vegas would have to either get hard stuck, like basically, end up back at like a top 8 or top 6 and like hard stuck. We can't get past these people, or they just have to fall out and do badly. Then they would consider obviously making that change. If Purge is the one playing badly again, then that would happen. But I don't see it happening now, honestly. Genuinely, I don't believe that they'll make a change at all. But
Gotta bide your time a little bit here. It's tricky, because I don't think these are dominoes that make the rest of Rostermania fall. I mean, like Ravens could think about it, but I don't think they will because they've got their facility they're cooking up.
They all said that they said they are going to do it, but I think Trey is in doubt. I was slightly in doubt myself hearing about it.
I'm in doubt.
Like
I mean, Clay's tweeting out that he's moving, so
I saw that. I did see that, so I was like, maybe it is for real this time. But
maybe they're gonna do a surge and stick everyone in an apartment building and call it a facility. I don't know.
I think that is what it's gonna be, Trey. I'm good with it.
I mean, other teams do that too, but like it's not with good internet and shit too. So it's a little different. But other teams have done that too. Call an apartment a facility. We see it. It happens. Happens in Dallas a lot too.
Yeah, I'm I will kind of mock it. It's not really a facility, is it? But you get to play you get to play next to each other for sure.
Speaking of getting gone and all of this and that, should we jump over to another team, the next team in our lineup here?
We can do another team, absolutely.
Let's jump over to the Minnesota Rokkr. Let's jump over to them for a second here. Main screen.
We also have a Vivid tweet, by the way.
Oh, let me add the Vivid tweet. But for now, we can speak on
that ready, but yeah.
We can speak on this Jacob Hale. The Jacob Hale. Someone could read that out while I pull the Vivid tweet.
Absolutely. So Jake Hale drops the bombshell. The Minnesota Rokkr are going to be going for the double. Crazy how the level that we're at on Dope Check is ridiculous, right? Because when we talked about Wake getting gone, what are we talking about? We talked about the whole duo with him and Vivid, the fact that they teamed together before, the possibility of Vivid getting dropped as well, and bang, what do they hit us with? The Vivid drop also. Wake out.
Are you saying that we're like GMs right now?
I'm saying that we could make just better decisions than these teams have made. I believe that to be true. As a collective, maybe as individuals. I wouldn't trust Ace on his own though. We need to,
Rab,
we need to rein him in somewhat.
No. That's insane.
Vivid is really interesting to me because Vivid brings some serious pace. But the way I look at it is that again, I think Vivid has been dropped from every team that he started for in the CDL.
Sorry to interrupt, Rab. Sorry to interrupt though, but this whole people he's the fast player on the team. He needs to just because you die a lot don't mean you're fucking doing God's work. His interaction per 10 a crate. Yeah. Mine would be too if I finished 10 and 30 every fucking map. And I'm not saying Vivid's doing that. I'm just saying people think if you die a lot, this guy's a sub player. He just runs in and dies. That's his job. Motherfucker. It's not how it works, bro.
It does go, because if you look at Vivid's, especially in recent seasons, I don't think it was as bad this year, but in recent seasons, Vivid's deaths per 10 in control were just this man was just throwing that shit away. And that matters in that game mode. And elsewhere as well. Pace is good and important, but it needs to work with the rest of the team. And there's got to be a reason why Vivid just keeps getting dropped or benched. I think the eye test on Vivid is good, but there has to be a reason though, Trey, why we keep seeing these kind of repercussions, especially for Standy. I mean, I think Standy could be a sound guy, but we've criticized him heavily on the show, and I kind of want to say that our whole Standy experiment has failed, and this is definitely the final run if that happens. But yeah, that is a weird one. The iLLeY thing is probably more interesting, but we can discuss both.
before we lock in, we have Sack 1B7 coming in. Trey is slow as fuck player. He never been on a top team because he's slow and top players are fast.
Wow. He actually cooked your shit there, Trey. He cooked your shit. Damn.
Sack, listen, there is a couple players that you support that don't have one of these. All right? I used to do this shit back in the day. Now I'm on there roasting the players that can't do it now to this day. Respect me and respect everything about me, buddy.
Yeah, wait. How is he? Wait, calling Trey a slow player is actually criminal, considering he was a snaking demon. He was a snaking demon, and he was fast in Black Ops 4. It doesn't make any sense. Actually, terrible.
Anyway, listen, fuck me. Like, don't matter. I just wanted to roast that guy. We carry to a chip.
We can carry it on.
Lil Sack is okay. I love this. This is Lil Sack. This is the guy that Nature played League Play with.
What, Black Ops 2?
Yeah.
We have
Lil Sack's back with a vengeance here.
We have this thing
big
from
Sack.
Call of Delco showing the player stat comparisons between the proposed replacements for Rokkr, which are Awakening for iLLeY and Vivid for Standy. So let's compare a little bit here.
Oh, we have the Vivid Standy ones as well. Nice.
Yeah, we have.
Oh, Delco's cooking.
So
I mean, we can start here. Like this is this S&D. The S&D is. I mean, have a look at this, baby.
I mean, I think without a doubt, we can all three of us, and pretty much I think everyone in the chat can all agree that iLLeY for Joe, at this stage, considering how Joe's playing right now, this is a massive upgrade. iLLeY, with what we did see of him when he was playing for Major 1, was absurd at S&D. Probably best player in one of the, if not the best, one of the best players in S&D, bar none. And then upgrade and respawn as well. I think this is a huge upgrade in the AR role that complemented with Lamar. You have someone who's carrying the load and Lamar making the right play. I think their AR duo gets a lot better for Rokkr.
I just hope he can stay on the fucking team.
Happen, man? Yeah.
I just hope he can stay on the team for longer than a fucking month and a half. It feels like every time he joins a team, something crazy fucking happens.
Might be true.
Like this one here, Major 1, looking like a top S&D player carrying the Surge boys. Next, disappeared off the face of the fucking earth. Coming back for Major 3. Then what happens?
There is this is like one of those situations that when I look at it, it's kind of like a high risk, high reward type of situation. Like if you're in the Rokkr shoes, you can think like, okay, we can consider a player like maybe Beans and these guys in Beans, Cammy, Gunless, these kind of guys. But at the end of the day, who would give you the most certainty if it worked out to make your team better above iLLeY? I think iLLeY gives you the highest chance to be good and also helps out in the department where you're lacking a bit, which is S&D. He brings an absolute certified carrier, backpacker in S&D. So, I think they just had to make the move. If it was possible, they had to make that move. And yeah, you're right. It is there is risk there that the unfortunate kind of circumstance and perspective we saw of iLLeY in Major 1 could come back again. I mean, I hope not. He's been away for more than a major now, more than a whole major stage. What is that, 7 weeks? 2 months, basically. So, I mean, I think in that case, if you're Rokkr, you got to hope for the best when it comes to him and hope that he's taking this time to improve, get healthy, clear his mind and come back ready to fry and be the iLLeY we all love.
This is the question, though, yeah? iLLeY is back somehow. He returned. iLLeY somehow returns.
Undertaker.
Like that Star Wars thing, whatever they said.
No,
Yeah,
Undertaker, yeah.
But okay, so we still don't know what happened with Surge, but they announced Arcitys is gone. If iLLeY's back again, we don't know why iLLeY was gone. Was he suspended? Maybe. We don't know. Did Seattle just decide to make him step away for unknown reasons? We don't know. The magic beans, as was described in the chat.
Well, to be fair, Ace did drop it last week that he wasn't suspended.
Okay, well, there you go.
He wasn't
Good
suspended. He wasn't.
Brilliant.
He wasn't suspended. He was still under contract with Surge.
We would have heard the breakdown of knowledge here and logic is if a player gets banned, that has to come down from the top of the league. The league has to say that this person is banned, which we never heard. He was never suspended from Call of Duty comp or competition, like we heard with a Jimbo, right? So we never heard that. Clearly was not banned. And if he got suspended, that likely would have been something that you publicly have to announce, that like similar to Denz's PR thing, which is dropping 2 players. You have to put out a little PR statement. Considering this and this, unforeseen circumstances, Inder has been, suspended for this period of time. We heard none of those, right? We heard none of those.
Same shit happened with John, Like, there were all sorts of rumors about what was going on with John, and nobody ever knew what was happening, but they never said anything. So, I don't know. I mean, whatever the truth is, like, so I guess Surge, yeah, the family, I mean, Parasite said that his family's been helping iLLeY through, everything, which is good. Glad that iLLeY's back and good to play again, but it's just interesting. Like, if iLLeY's available again and everything, you might think that him coming back into Surge would be the logical step, but seems like that is not the case.
And then we have the other switch, which the proposed switch up here is Vivid for Standy. And Rab, I kind of heard you showing some disdain for it or dislike of this move. Why is that? I want to hear why.
Okay, Standy, his numbers look okay, but from various angles, I have questions on Standy as a player. Like, I think the attitude he showed when he was dropped was questionable at times. To be fair, he's been on Rokkr before. He's had success on Rokkr before. He's played briefly with Accuracy back in Vanguard. I think they came top 4 one event. Wasn't particularly successful outside of that. The one thing that Standy does have going for him, though, is that when you drop him, your team gets so much better. And we've seen this before, and it looks to me like Minnesota Rokkr are pulling off class. They bring in Standy. They get a little bit better, but not much better. They're still struggling to crack top 5, top 6, something in that ballpark. They come out of Major 3. They're still looking pretty bad. Bang, we drop Standy, we pick someone else up, and boom. You get the post-Standy buff through to top 1, and they're competing for the World Championship.
Rav is literally the Juju master with this one, really figuring out the whole thing. I want to say that if Standy does get picked up, I think it is an upgrade to a struggling Vivid in this case. And I think specifically the biggest upgrade that Rokkr have here that can make them crack some of those top 4 teams, maybe not get to that slot in the standings, but crack them in terms of wins, is their S&D here. With Inder and Standy on your team, I think you have a good and Linz and Lamar. You have 4 players there that actually are scary and reliable in S&D. So if you could win just one respawn, you could win a series. It's very, very possible at that point. So I think it is an upgrade, maybe per numbers, not that much, but I like the changes overall. I think it makes them a lot stronger in a specific game mode and a little bit better in respawns, enough to where if they do play in New York, if they do play in OpTic, if they do play FaZe and any of these guys, they have a chance to beat them, take them to a game map 5, and make the series more competitive than already they had, right? We saw them take pretty much every team to a game 5. Maybe this is what gets them to close out those map 5s and win against the best.
It's just, like, what do you think about this, Trey, right? Like, going into the season, Linz and Vivid, to me, on their respective playstyles, kind of made sense as an SMG duo. Standy and Vivid, or Standy and Linz, I don't know. Like, I don't know.
Standy's not the fastest player in the world. I think Linz and Vivid did, work together very well. It just I promise you, they win that OpTic series, none of this happens. Maybe Awakening changes, because that's what we were saying the whole time. But I promise you, just like I said, because guess what? Never wrong. The OpTic series killed this team, and honestly, I think it killed Vivid as a player in this team. I really do.
Bro, that one mistake.
Mistake. I think they watched.
Probably
it back.
wakes up at night thinking about that. Holy fuck.
Yeah, I think this team definitely. This team should have changed straight after the OpTic loss, because obviously I knew. Obviously they never were, but like you just know where it's going at that point. Do I like the change? I would have loved to have seen Vivid just. We said that if they're going to make a 2-man change, it's going to be Awakening and Vivid. I would have loved to have seen Vivid just stay on the team. But they're obviously making a change. I'm pretty sure he tweeted out FA, did he not?
Yeah, we had that. We put up that tweet.
And this is where this is Standy's last chance, really and truthfully. He's been dropped a lot. I thought it was his last chance being dropped on Paris. especially when it was due to outer game issues. But like I said, Lamar don't put up with no bullshit. So as soon as Sandy starts bullshitting, Lamar's gonna.
something. Like I kind of,
Well,
benefit of the
Lamar,
doubt.
Lamar's just not gonna take no bullshit, bro. And that's how he is as a player, and that's why I respect him as a player. And he might not drop 1.7s, 1.5s. He might not drop Dashy numbers or anything like that. But I respect him as a teammate and a player, and someone that can actually like put someone in line, put someone in check when they're being a prick. So, I can actually see Sandy working well on this roster.
At least there's some upside there, It's not. There's no. You can get a version of Stanley that delivers a lot of slaying, but at the same time, that's kind of Linz's job, and I feel like Linz and Viv would decent enough job of that. So I have my questions about the pacing of this team, but that's a bit of a buzzword.
No, it's a fair assessment. I think I've critiqued Tom Linz for being slow. I think Standy is a slower player, a slower sub, and he's not known to bait, but there's times we watch his gameplay, he baits. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that duo works out together.
We're probably getting Vista in the map set as well.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
breaking news, basically.
I put a tweet in it from.
Tweeted this.
Yeah, I put a tweet in this DM in our Discord chat. It's coming in for Vista will be added to the CDL rotation only for hardpoint, which is what I said it would be, just because we're lacking hardpoint maps and this map actually isn't terrible.
Yeah, I played it. It was actually pretty fun to play. It made sense. The rotations made sense. I'm excited to at least get something fresh. Right, Rio was a great ad. Rio was a great hardpoint ad. I think Vista feels good. In Control, it feels a little odd. In Search, it feels kind of mid. But for hardpoint, I think this would be really refreshing. And I hope guys, on 3, we're gonna do something. We're gonna do a little team exercise right now, a little dope check exercise. Chat, I want you guys to participate as well. On 3, type in the chat what map you want to see gone. Subbase, Skid Row, or Invasion. On 3, ready? I'm gonna say 1, 2, 3, and then press enter on what map you want gone. Okay, guys, ready? You're gonna say it on 3. Which map we want out? 1, 2, 3. Invasion.
Skid Row.
It was definitely wait. I got Invasion for sure.
Skid Row.
Yeah, why?
I said Skid Row.
Why? Okay, we're gonna start with you because you're the odd man out. Why Skid Row?
That map is fucking dog shit.
What? But why though? Give us something, man.
P2 is by far the worst hill on any of those maps.
It's not great, but I think it's better.
Motherfucker, we rotate at 60, bro. This is not hard point. You rotate off spawn.
It's called strategy. Trey, it's called strategy.
Yeah, fuck off, mate. Fuck off. Listen, I'm not a big fan of it. I'm not a big fan. I'm not a big fan of Invasion.
To Skid Row.
I'm not a big fan of Invasion. All right, but I do believe it is a better hardpoint map than that fucking shit show.
Oh well, one additional thing, which I remember from chat too, is that Skid Row in this next major is going to be on the new patch as well. So all those new spawns that you mentioned, Trey, were ass will now be implemented into it. So enjoy.
Wow.
Enjoy. Trust me, it's going to be one for the spectators.
I don't know. I think
Merc's going to be on comms.
Invasion ends before a team gets 250. Yeah, if you're New York, because you kill whore every fucking life.
Very true. But I want to say Invasion to me, it just for the viewer experience, and I think that's why so many people typed Invasion in the chat. Invasion for a viewer experience is just so dog meat to watch. Skid Row, at least you have opportunities for Purge to go 14-3 because he's just sitting as a turret in P2, and it's fun to watch, right? Maybe it's a competitor at shit, but at the end of the day, COD is
SMGs, man. P1 is a fun hill.
We want to see Pred and Shotzi. We want to see Hydra.
I hate this new gen COD. I hate this new gen. Oh, the subs are mixy. It's just a fun map. Get everyone in the mix. Throw them in there. Fuck off.
The next one I would want.
In it though. That's what it is, isn't it? Oh, why is this player so good? Oh, he YY's everywhere. He's 360 and he's shut up.
He's cracked.
Yeah, he's cracked.
Out of his mind.
He is cracked. But Invasion just sucks to watch. So I'm happy Vista's getting
it. He just dog shit.
Honestly, any 3 of those maps could fucking go. Actually, no, I like Subbase. I actually do think Subbase is an okay map.
I mean, I think this from Ant as well, from the rotation, like, this is not necessarily it, right? Like, this is the first thing we've heard that Vista Hardpoint is in. It doesn't necessarily mean that Vista Search won't be in. It doesn't necessarily mean that another Hardpoint map, like 6-star, magically works. might be.
I'm just
else.
saying this though. I'm saying this right now. If they get rid of sub base, give FaZe Champs trophy, bro.
You can't afford to have that happen. If you're another team, you cannot afford sub base to go because
if you get listen, I'm just letting all these CDL teams know. Yeah, sub base is FaZe's worst map. They auto veto it.
Yeah.
If you get rid of their auto veto, you have just made that team better.
Yeah. Also, if anyone hasn't played Vista yet and you had a chance to play it in rank play recently, I don't think FaZe are gonna have any trouble on this map. You have Simba and Abizi just be running around going wild on it, and then you have Celium who's just in a bunch of weird creddy spots that's gonna shit on you. And then Drazah just saying, "Fuck it, Dad," and then that's all you're gonna get. It's gonna be horrible for you. So definitely, if you're another team and we're gonna give a little bit of insight, you better vote just to keep sub base in and get Invasion or Skid Row. I would say keep Skid Row in, because Skid Row for the bottom teams. Here's my reasoning for the bottom teams. Is actually an opportunity to beat one of the top teams, because it doesn't matter how good you are. Like you said, if you get P2, you could be the worst player in the league and you could still hold P2, basically. All right, unless you get cheesed out.
Yeah. The issue with Vista is, someone put it in the chat, and I agree. It's one of those ones. I can't remember what map I said it for. I think it was Rio Ace, that the hills are so close together. P5 to P1 is literally like, you can capture P5 on the bridge and then walk 3 steps into P1. The rotation is right next to each other. Like that shit. Like, and this is what I'm saying. Yeah, these devs have no idea what's going on. How is that a thing? How is that a thing?
All I gotta say is your subs better be fucking piecing. That's all I gotta say. They better be piecing from P5 to P1.
Also, there's some opinions I can't take seriously in here. We've got Metaculus or Culus or something like that. Terrible name as well. Departures control is so good.
Departures is dog
I haven't
shit.
played it to say, but people seem to like Departures control, bro. I'm seeing that a lot.
Departures is such a bad map.
As a pro? Or the fans?
General thoughts, yeah.
No,
I mean, I trust Trey on this.
Yeah, you should trust me on it. Why would you want Terminal B2? It's like playing Battlefield. That map's so fucking big.
Not only is the map big, but if you go to that outer area where A is in control, bro, the amount of just random spots and cars and trucks you could stay behind and basically head glitch. You could snake behind. There's stairs everywhere to stair glitch. There's random up and bottom floors. Yeah, it's fun to play as like a pub and you'll randomly flank behind somebody and get a kill. But no, it's not a good map for competitive. It's not balanced at all. The partners should be gone.
Imagine playing Cell on that map. Oh my god.
You're shit on.
There's stairs everywhere, and you're not even stair glitching them because you're just standing on them. Because if you crouch on some stairs, it's not a stair glitch. But if you lay down on it, that's the same shit.
If you're playing Cell and he's in that A outside area about one of those vans, you're not getting to A. You're just stuck. You're just shit. And then you have Simpa the Beezy running through mid, just shitting on you. And then Drazah just holding a heady. You're dead. You lost. It's not a good map. But going back to the teams, okay, I think Vista Hardpoint, W, Skid Row or Invasion, get it out. Subbase, keep in. But let's get back to our talk on these teams. One
piece I wanted to mention real quick, just before we go to Surge, I guess, is like,
what's up?
There were rumors that they were trialing Dak and Gunless, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe it wasn't Gunless. Was Gunless on maybe on this team?
Well, Gunless made a tweet, so I'm assuming he's not on the roster.
I'm getting it ready. Give me a second.
We will get into that. We can actually do that tweet now. I don't mind doing it.
Did you want to talk about some challenges real quick whilst we're on the topic of challenger players not getting a spot?
I'm always down.
That's a good little sideshow transition right there. Segue transition right there. Let's start with the Gunless one, and then I'll bring up the Exceed stuff. But you guys, I'll read this out, and then you guys go ahead and discuss so I can grab the Exceed stuff. This shit is so fucking hysterical. Like 90% of the arrows in this league actually fucking suck, and wouldn't even win an event in challenges, let alone the fucking league. But I've done both. Shit's not even about skill anymore, only how good of a cock you can suck. Quote, end quote, Gunless. And then you have the most hilarious reply ever, which is Clayster saying, am I in the 90% or the 10%? Clay's a comedian for that one. And then you have Methods, hate to see where you don't belong. That shit was so funny. Clay is a comedian for that one. But go ahead. You guys can discuss what reactions to that, because I'm going to grab the Exceed clips and tweet really quick.
What do you think, Trey? I'm trying to
Well,
find it.
well, at least it wasn't like an Exceed soppy to you. It's like, I've been the best in the thing. I've not been given a chance. Blah, blah, blah. At least he's fucking said they're all shit. At least he's just gone straight out. At least he's gone straight out and said, "You're all fucking dog shit. I've won in challenges. I've won in the league. You're all shit." And it's like that me and A said about the Exceed tweet. You know, Exceed tweeting out, you know, I've been playing challenges for so long. I'm at the top of my game, and I'm not even getting a chance. Now, I had a discussion about the Exceed thing on my stream today, about saying he hasn't been given a chance, whatever like that. He said, one of his one of his things about why they play bad in the league, because his team was chalked.
You on the team, brother?
Now my point is that like it wasn't like a failed LAG team. He took 3 of his challenger teammates with him. Well, he took 2 of his challenger teammates with him that they won with in challengers to an LAG team. So it wasn't chalked off the bat, was it now? Because you took 2 players that you played with in challengers, and then you got iLLeY. So unless he's saying iLLeY chalked the team,
which I think was what he was saying, from my understanding.
All right.
But I mean, still, it's no excuse.
But I've seen good players on shit teams play fantastically. He's the only person in the league that has a Burger King card. Shout out Lineman.
Shout out Lineman always. Should we watch a clip of Exceed on the flank?
Yeah.
Let's watch a clip. He was going off.
Yeah. We'll watch this clip. It's a very interesting clip of his claims, basically.
Egregious, bro. He's egregious, bro. Fucking egregious.
Compared to my LG team last year. Let's have a fair fucking comparison.
Yeah.
Okay, he was dog shit. He got back in the league and won. Like, I don't know what he like.
So your point is, my point here is that I'm arguing is that I'm doing exactly what fucking Kiz did over the last couple years, and I'm doing exactly what he did, and my fucking second chance here isn't fucking coming around it. And I'm sorry.
You've had fucking 3
I
chances.
have not had 3 chances. Where are my fucking 3 chances?
Bro, you were a pro in MW.
W19, I didn't play the entire year because of the fucking stupid substitute rule. First of all, let's make this clear, okay? That rule was fucking bullshit. Every single sub player knows it was bullshit. That was a fucking void year. I didn't play the game.
I got violated by that. Bro. All right. And then
brought in last year, our team was fucking dog shit. We begged for roster changes. It never happened. You can't blame the players for that.
He's egregious.
Interesting take by Mr. Exceed here. I'm gonna say that I don't believe his comparison to Kiz is very valid.
Bro, Kiz was a pro in E6. He fried in E6. He was a pro on Paris, by far one of the like worst teams you could possibly be on in the league, and he still played well. And then came back and won.
I will say he got blessed. He got blessed to be packed with. He got blessed to be paired with Paco, but at the same time,
but like we have this we have the same thing about it, like where people go, oh, where would Simp be if he didn't play with Beezy?
Right.
No one fucking knows, and no one cares because it's not happened.
Yeah, exactly. That was my thought as well. It's like Kiz they say got blessed with Hydra, but at the same time they weren't immaculate off bat. They became good. And secondly, one more thing. And then also, Exceed, you picked your team. You chose your slot. The common denominator is Kiz and you were in the same spot, and then Kiz decided to pair up with this guy and go here. You decided to go do some dumb shit. This is why we've talked about. Go ahead.
Are we not making out like Kiz hasn't held his own against one of the best subs in the world though? He's playing with Hydra, one of the best subs or one of the best players in the world.
I haven't seen Kismet with a Burger King hat. That's all I'll say.
But hear me out, yeah. Hear me out. Towards the end of MW, when they won champs, yeah, Kiz was arguably just as important as Paco.
1.52 in the grand finals. That's the bulldog.
Arguably just as important as one of the best players in the world.
Yeah.
So I don't want to hear it, to be honest.
I want to add as well, too, just again, it's the other side of it as well, where you have a guy like Gwyn, right? Team clearly underperforming compared to him, but he's still standing out, right? And Gwyn didn't bring along two of his teammates or himself and a teammate. It was just him, new environment, let me make this happen, and he's putting it down. Exceed, on the other hand, yeah, my team was shit. Rah, rah, rah. Like, okay, yeah, I get it, bro, but like you have to still hold your own. .5s in S&D are not going to cut it, my man. .8s are not going to cut it. At least a .95, at least a 1, at least somewhere around that. Give me one game mode where you're close to a 1.0. Give me one.
Someone said his chance was he wasn't given a second chance. You've got to take your chances when you've got them, bro. The league is so minute for how many chances you get. Even Standy's lucky to have another chance.
Yeah.
But there's a reason he's been given another chance. Because he's done stuff in the league. Exceed's been getting pissed on for a year straight.
Yeah.
And it makes no sense. Stop comparing yourself to Kiz. Yeah, he got another shot. Guess what he done with that shot? Fucking snapped it up. Are we making it out like they weren't never going to make champs on Vanguard and then made champs?
Exactly. Kiz was crucial to turn that team around.
They were
That's
not
what
supposed to make
Exodus
champs
is
on
as well.
Vanguard. They made one of the most dream runs to champs of all time that I've seen. Everything they
And won an
needed
event
to
in the
do.
process at the Pro-Am. And it didn't count for anything, and they still ran for champs. They didn't even get points for that.
Yeah.
What I'll say on this is, I get the frustration from players in this position. It's obviously got to be frustrating. But at the same time, these guys wonder why they don't get a spot when all they do is cry all day. Like, it doesn't look good on anybody who's actually making the decisions at this point. The responsibility is key. I don't think you saw players like Gwyn crying when they didn't get a chance to Surge. I don't think you really saw Kiz crying. They grinded for their spot in challenges. They got the spot, they executed on it. If you're good enough, if you're an undeniable level player, if you take the responsibility to be the best you can be and bring your teammates up, you will get another opportunity. Joe Deceives on that Gorillas team last season, he proved enough to get another spot the next year. Sure, maybe it wasn't spectacular on Thieves, and maybe he's going to come back and do a good job. Who knows? But it's possible. If you go in with a mindset of, this is why I don't think players should turn down CDL spots either, because if your mindset is really that I'm actually a top-level CDL player, you don't care about that shit. You go in there with the absolute mentality that you are going to make this as good as it can possibly be. You're going to do everything in your power to prove that you are an absolute mainstay in the league. And if you can't do that, given 2-3 chances in the league, you can't begrudge the fact that that shit ain't happen anymore. There's no grand conspiracy as to why Exceed isn't getting picked up again. He's a known quantity. He's done this before. Potentially a problematic teammate based on what we hear him saying outside of the game. And he got the Burger King card. This is not a surprise to me. The same kind of applies to Gunless in some parts, although Gunless is a far better player. But what I will say is that these same elements, if I'm a decision maker, apply when I see people saying this shit. Why would I want to hire someone who just trashes on their old team and teammates? That doesn't sound like a good decision to me.
Rab finally cooked one time. There you go. Yay!
Listen. Rab's been frying. Right, Rab's been frying. I will give it to you. You and Rab are like two like fucking twin brothers. All right, you guys argue. I'm just on the sideline like the older brother, just like, hi guys, how's everything going? But listen, do you know how annoying it is seeing players cry and cry and cry that they're not getting these spots? Motherfucker, there is not enough spots for you to cry about. And it is, honestly, it ain't going to make it so you get a spot. It's actually going to make it more likely you don't get a spot. Now, if you're going to cry about something, do what Pierce done. Call everyone dog shit. Call everyone dog shit. Say everyone in there sucks dick and it's a friendship league. Instead, you've gone in there, you basically compared yourself to Kiz, saying that, you know, you've done everything Kiz has done. But no, you haven't done everything Kiz has done, because when Kiz got his opportunity to shine, he fucking shone. He kept up with the best player or the most talented player in MW2 and won champs with a 1.52 in the grand finals. You did not do that.
I also want to give some love to Pierce as well on a different note. He did come out of nowhere and just win the champs again. Hopefully, this doesn't get too in his head and he can come back from Major 3 challengers and win again. Also, on the Exceed point, I want to add that Exceed on his own team, FC Black, with Joe Deceives, wasn't the best sub. Huh? You gotta be outstanding to make it to the league. You gotta be outstanding. And if Joe Deceives is going a whole qualifier stage with a 1.2, but you're not near him, then there's a conversation that has to be had. You're not the one that's making the big difference, clearly. Asim was frying the first time around. Joe Deceives was frying the second time around. So what argument is there for you to be the one to get to the league? Side note, Fig Boy is going absolutely crazy in the chat. I think he just dropped 20 gifted. Let me hit a nice little. Okay, that's just some quick intro hype for you right there. I don't know if it blew out anyone's earlobes, but thank you, Wig Boy, for that 20 gifted. You're the GOAT. You're the bomb. Always supporting. Always in here. Appreciate you, brother.
This is the last thing I want to say on this because I don't want to dwell too much on it. If you deserve a spot, you will get a spot. You shouldn't be the guy to say that you deserve a spot because it just makes it 10 times worse. If you deserve a spot in the league, you will get a contract whenever you deserve your contract. That's just the fact. That's just a fact.
I agree. There's some insight of like some thought that like, oh, players are so faded for some of the... Okay, besides, in my opinion, Boston, besides that, a lot of the other changes and things like that made somewhat a sense or some idea, some rationale that you can take as to why it's happening. Players are going to notice other players, right? Coaches are going to notice other players. GM is going to notice you. Someone's going to notice you if you're outstanding. But my point was about Exceed personally, or not personally, gameplay-wise, his KD wasn't even the best on his team. His other sub was doing better. His other, comparable player was doing better than he was by a big margin. So
I bring up the Burger King card real quick, by the way, just because we haven't shown it yet in the show, so we've got to show it to people.
Do we have?
It's further up in the Dope Check chat. There's also another thing that let me send to you also that I want us to bring up.
Go ahead.
Because this is just a generational COD meme that's related to the Gunless tweet. But yeah, I mean, I think we've kind of covered the crux of it.
All right, let me.
Yeah, like, and I'm happy. Like I said, he is clearly a fucking good player. All right, we're not denying that. But I don't like I feel like entitlement is the best word to use for it. I think really you just got to sit there and look at yourself and be like, all right, I need to lock in. I need to stop complaining. If I get my chance, I get my chance. If I don't, I don't. Because there's a lot of players and challenges that need a spot.
Yeah, we brought up the cards, by the way. These are all of Exceed's cards in the league. Major 2, 20, 23, 63, above a 1.0 in S&D, and then Major 3 is his best one, or best, tied for the best 74s. Had a decent stage here. And then his burger card, 57 is worst one. Definitely probably the worst player in the league right there. And then Major 5, again, pretty flat all the way around. And then his whole season, 66. Could I argue that he could possibly replace some subs on some of these bottom teams and try him out? Maybe he makes some noise? Yeah, probably. But at the same time, again, you have to stand out. You have to be above the pack. And that's what we're missing, I think, overall. And again, if we're talking about, we're going back to this, this Pierce tweet, only how good of a cock you can suck. This is the meme the generational meme that Rab wanted me to bring up. Unsucked cock detected.
No, I forgot Lamar was on there, actually.
Moving to engage, accuracy, teach, slacked method. So this is an old school one, but only two remain, actually. But
yeah, if nobody's said this before, oh, what a brilliant time this was. But, things change, but things always stay the same.
Bro,
the friendship ain't changed, the cocksucking cheese,
Look at Gunless, for example. He was supposed to be on the team this year, and it got swiped away from him. He didn't. Yeah, I mean, he complained about being in that situation, but that's the issue. I mean, Lamar's on there, like he said. He just put in the chat. He said, "I have blackmail on everyone." So if everyone wants to wonder why Lamar's still in the league, I gas up Lamar 24/7. I just want to put that out there. I say he's a great teammate, very solid person to play with. And
Lamar's
I always
the fourth one here, though. To be fair, Lamar's in the background. Black does always,
What? Lamar's getting sloppy fourths, yeah.
You're a clown, bro. You're a fucking clown. Okay, well, let's get off this dick sucking cheese. Okay, let's get off of this. Let's get to some real COD talk because this is so hilarious. Jumping over. We have another one, a polarizing one. Again, we had a lot of takes on it. Let's watch this clip from Alec on talking about Surge.
Yeah, you make the joke? Wait, okay. You feel bad?
Of course I feel bad, bro. I don't want to
Sorry,
ever
kid.
get dropped.
I love the game against y'all.
I've been dropped so many times.
I hope you're in good spirits for whatever happened. I don't know.
I'm ready. I'm ready to go somewhere else and fucking slam those fucking kids.
I actually realized there's a song playing in the background, so I can't play too much of that, by the way. Yeah, there's a song. So there's a copyright song in the background there, so I can't play too much of that live on this. But he pretty much said, yeah, he said it right there. Basically, I'm ready to go to another team and slam those effing kids. Reactions?
I mean, he was in my stream today, and do you remember that time where I said me and 3 iridescent players could beat that Surge team?
Yeah.
He come in my stream today and said, I think you and 3 Diamond 3 players could beat the new Surge team.
Jesus. That's kind of toxic. I'm not going to lie to you.
And I did point out to him that I will be using this in the show, and he said, fuck you. So, you know, I'm undercover right now. I also did ask him if he wanted to come on the show. He said not yet. He said it's too soon. But I think yeah, I think coming like moving further down, I think a lot of people and players want to actually, you know, say what's gone on behind the scenes or whatever like that. Yeah, from what Alex said in my chat the past few times he's been there, it sounds like it's been a bit of a fuckfest in that team. Saying like, don't know
what.
Well, they're not fucking rap, but you know, it's a fuck fest. You know, no one knows what the fuck's going on over there. I think Rambo don't know what's going on over there. I don't know where the fuck's he? Where the fuck's he been?
Right, I'm not gonna look at his Twitter again, but if I look at his Twitter and it's a tweet from last time, him laughing at the.
Let me have a look.
While you're searching, let me just say, like, I do feel bad for Alec in a sense that the team he created at the beginning of the year is not the team he's ended up with, nor has the year gone the way. Like, you couldn't write this more horribly. Your best player, you're the reliable guy, gets removed from the team basically, and now you're scrambling with French players. And at this point, you know, you're trying to get better. Your narrative is changing. People are saying you're kill whoring and this and that. You have a decent stage, but everyone kind of negates it. Like, oh yeah, he's just kill whoring and not playing for his team. He's playing for stats. I kind of feel bad for Alec. I'm gonna keep it a buck for you. Over this major 2-span, it's just been a hell of a year. And he did say, he replied to my tweet and he said he will come on the podcast too. I think Alec knows some stuff. I think he's ready to talk about some stuff. And I don't know. I'm looking forward to the day when we really know whether it's from Alec, whether it's from Slasher, whoever it is. I'm ready. I'm so ready for the day when we actually find out what's going on behind the scenes. And, you know, they're ready to comment on it and make it known why they're so upset and why they're so, like, you know, they're so not bitter. I don't want to say like so, like, yeah, just upset about being dropped by these orgs.
Rambo Ray's last tweet was to Godzilla and Kong Warzone MW3 bundle.
It's still the same.
What was the date?
Please say
March
something.
the 7th.
It is currently April the 1st.
Now listen,
I mean, you know,
as fans of Surge, you would like to know what the fuck's going on. You would like to know, you know.
He's coach and GM, you know, like at least Dens puts out a PR statement.
I mean, fuck, like, Alec's been dropped. He's not even tweeted like, you know, thanks or anything like that. He doesn't give a fuck. Like, you know, as a coach of a team, as a fan of, you know, if you're a fan of Surge, you would like to see someone comment on something.
We don't do that.
And you think it would be Rambo because he's the fucking GM coach, you know. Hey guys, what's going on at Seattle? You've got more tweets coming from fucking Jacob Hale than you do Surge. They're getting absolutely piss slammed, and he's worried about an MW3 finisher coming back to Warzone.
Goes down the bowling alley, just, you know.
Now, listen, I will state my piece again. I will help any CDL team out for free. For free. if you guys need it. Yes, for free. I will happily do it for free because fucking hell.
I want to do two things right now. Reminder to the chat of the Major 2 stats. Alex stats for Major 2, basically. He actually had a 1.01 for Major 2.
Wow. Bloody hell. Get him to FaZe. He's got to go back. What do we think?
You're a comedian. But really, I'm just saying, like, his level of anger probably at being dropped after clearly, you know, having the best stats on the team. I know stats don't mean anything. Again, I'm Mr. Stats don't mean everything. I'm all about it. But I just want to point out the fact that it's like, by far.
We got to look at his player card if we want to look at stats.
Do you have his player card?
Oh man, I can find it. It ain't pretty.
It'll be there. Look, click cards on the.
Oh yeah,
thing.
actually, you can probably find it. Go cards and then.
Yeah. See, it's kind of wild that he has a 58 but has the best stats. I guess the damage, the engagements weren't there really.
Well,
The card doesn't care about KD.
So I spoke to him about it. All right, about the kill whoring thing, and I actually watched some of his games. All right, because I've got a COD brain.
Click on it, I think, and it might come up big. But
I've got a COD brain. Okay.
There we go. Yeah.
And there was many instances where they were in a great position, and someone threw their life multiple times to lose them multiple situations where they could have potentially won the map or won the series. And it weren't iLLeY. But I'm not going to go into it. Now listen, everyone says he was kill whore and everything like that. It's whatever, you know. I'm gonna be real. That's what I mean. Someone's got to get a fucking kill on that team.
I think
now listen, the team
is like, yeah, go on, Trey, and then I'll say my.
I was gonna say the team was chalked, but in that Major 2, there was a lot of times someone was throwing their life a bit too much in some good situations, and it kind of costed.
Who, motherfucker?
Oh, we don't call out players on this podcast. Oh,
What?
Bro, I know he's talking about Huke. It's all good.
Bruh. What dude? This is the cheese of cheese right now. I hate this. I'm just saying. For iLLeY considerably has gotten. I think his player card is there. I guess it's actual dog shit. I understand, but he hasn't been playing the worst, and I think he stepped up a bit. His slaying and engagements clearly were not what they needed to be. But you can't argue with the one, with the one above a 1.0 on a team of everyone who's at a 0.9 or below. So you gotta at least, I feel like you gotta at least give him a chance here to go forward a little bit, and maybe 04 is the rumored guy to be coming in. iLLeY's S&D stats are actually pretty good. 1.15, 170, second highest damage on his team. 6 kills per round, 0.72, second best on the team. Only Huke is above him. So if you're bringing 04, who's a S&D mastermind, at least if you're Surge with iLLeY, you have a good S&D duo. But no, you get rid of iLLeY, your best S&D player, and you bring in 04, who's just another AM Challengers S&D player. There's a lack of sense here, in my opinion.
Are we saying there's some oui merci beaucoup je ne sais pas cheese going on right now?
Holy shit! Okay.
I think there might be some French cheese. What I will say though on Arcitys is I don't think that he's been dropped. Du fromage, we call that. I don't think that he's been dropped for reasons necessarily even inside of the game. I know that he talked about this as well, and they were like, "Oh, they dropped him," and they wouldn't even give him a reason or whatever. I think it's outside of the game stuff in terms of his mentality towards the game, because, okay, he had a great year on FaZe and Cold War. They dominated. There's a bit of revisionist history as well. I think that people want to be careful to take credit away from what Arcitys actually achieved during his career, because he was a great player. People quick to forget how impactful and good of a player Arcitys was, even from Infinite Warfare through to World Championship success on 2 occasions. Was a great player during Black Ops 4. At Vegas, he almost had the same KD that Dashy did, and people forget about that at the start of the season on the Tempest. But obviously, after the Cold War season, things were different. Gets dropped from FaZe after Vanguard. Understandably so. They didn't win an event all season. At that point, things were kind of interesting for Arcitys. And I understand why he's got a big ego. Any player on that level should have an ego. Multiple world champion. Until recently, probably highest earnings in like probably Simba Beast, you've overtaken him again or something. Like that was the case for some time. Understandable why he felt like he maybe deserved better. It felt like after the FaZe situation, he was kind of like, oh, screw those guys. Like they disrespected me. They dropped me for these guys. I'm going to kind of get my revenge. He had his offers going into the MW2 season. He had options elsewhere. Teams wanted him, but he went for the bag on Gorillas. I don't blame him going for the bag on Gorillas. But I imagine he had choices that season in terms of where he went. He chose a team that wasn't as good, I presume because they had a big bag at the time. That then never lasted. And when that then fell away, it seems like he gave up. I mean, you look at the mentality. I roasted Exceed earlier, but the feeling was in that Gorillas camp last season that Arcitys just wasn't committed. The guys didn't really want to play with him. And the reality is that the team was terrible. And Surge, it seems like the same thing was occurring this year. Certainly after iLLeY just felt like Arcitys was not committed to being the best version of himself or being the best version that he could help the team to be. And Arcitys even tweeted that after he got dropped. He was like, yeah, damn, this was effectively implied this was the wake-up call. I don't know if you want to look through Arcitys' Twitter, actually, Ace, but he did a tweet that said, damn, but I thought I needed this shit, but now I know I need something like that. And it kind of implies to me that he's been dropped, he's like, holy fuck, and now I actually am on my last legs here. Like, I've got to lock in. But it's like the wake-up call should have come 2 years ago.
All right, so that's what I was about to say. I hate, like, Alec knows I love him to pieces. All right, we have this, me and Alec had this thing today where we said like, me and him are like very good friends. All right, but I hate it when pro players do this, bro. They get dropped and it's like, I've got the fire back.
I can find it for you, actually. Okay.
Yeah, I don't see it.
People get dropped and they instantly just tweet out, I've got the fire back. Like, motherfucker, you need the fire. You need the fire 24/7. Like, there was, you can't sit there and get dropped and be like, right, now I'm back. This isn't, the league is too cutthroat for this. You need the fire 24/7. I think I can say this the same way that I said it with Clay. All right, you look at Clay when he plays online, when he plays to LAN, it looks like he doesn't want to be there online, and he gets to LAN, and it's like he's back in his happy place. If you want to compete at the highest level, you need to be whatever situation you are in. All right, and I'm not saying he doesn't, but he doesn't look like it. And he does tweet depressing stuff when stuff like that happens. And, the issue is as well, matter of the fact is, he's the only one on his team that actually tweets out when they lose and shit like that. So he kind of gets the brute force of all the hate as well, which doesn't help.
I think to me, again, when I'm looking at this, Alec should be in shock because for Major 1 and Major 2, he did play better. And specifically in S&D, he was carrying. He was actually, if you're carrying a game mode as a player, at least that should be consideration to keep you on. To me, it's kind of appalling that considering how bad, and I don't want to call out anyone, but I will call out anyone, unlike Trey, Brezzy wasn't playing well pretty much across the board, yet holds his spot, while Alec is improving his KD, playing really well in S&D, not getting that many kills in hardpoint, but getting important kills. If you watch the matches, he was in the right places at the right times. But yet he's the odd man out and gets dropped. So I think that is a little telling. I agree with Trey, who said that it might be deeper than just the game. Because in my opinion, Major 1 and Major 2, Alec has improved and he showed good glimpses of good AR knowledge and skill if you actually watch the matches of Seattle's matches during that course of time.
Rambo lined them all up and he said, how much French do you know? Alec didn't know a lick and got dropped.
We also have this tweet by Huke too, which is interesting, on March 30th. Actions speak louder than words. Whoever said it first. So it seems like a subtweet to me.
That's a good point because Huke does not tweet much.
Nope.
And you gotta think that when he tweets shit, something's going on.
Yeah,
Huke was actually in consideration for getting dropped. I mean, well, we don't know this, but there was a feeling that Huke might be out of there. And then all of a sudden, Jake Hell tweets, "No, Huke is safe. Don't worry about it."
His last tweet before
that,
his last tweet before March 30th was, "Happy birthday to the Goach, Rambo Ray."
Oh my god,
that was his last tweet.
I bet Ray didn't reply to that either.
The Goach. Yeah, did Ray reply?
No, he has not replied.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Bro, he actually might hate Huke, man. From the look at the minimap days of Cold War, Huke's trying to get back in his good books, and now he's just trying to drop him on his neck
Now,
again.
like I said, it's definitely more of a mentality thing, I feel like, with iLLeY. You know, he can be, you know, down in the dumps more than a lot of players. And I think that's just because he wants it, but, like, shows it in a bad way. But, like I said, I don't like the whole being dropped thing and, like, making it out like, oh, I've got the fire back now. You need that 24/7. When you get dropped, now you got the fire back. Like, what does it last until you get dropped again? No.
Yeah,
lock it the fuck
get
in.
another spot in the
Yeah,
league.
lock it the fuck in. All right, iLLeY, if you ever hear this, I love you very much. But I hope you get a team that you want to play with, but this can't happen again because it's happened 2 years in a row, and it's the same shit with Standy, and it's the same shit with a lot of players where they keep getting chances. And I'm not saying iLLeY's not iLLeY, like he's the fourth most high in earning COD player of all time. All right, but you got to do it without FaZe now, and you got to prove why you were, you know, even on FaZe doing as well as you were 24/7. So. I hope iLLeY makes a team again, locks back in, and shows what he can actually do and block out the noise. Be the Arcitys everyone knows and everyone fucking feared.
Yeah, the recency bias with him is just so stupid. He is one of the best players of all. He is truly one of the best accoladed players of all time. So like we can't cheese him like that and just be like, yeah, this guy's ass. No, he's not ass. He's not. iLLeY is no way, in no form, no pro, no professional would ever tell you this guy's ass. He's not. He's had bad stints with some bad teammates and maybe chalked his mental, but he is not ass in any regard. Hopefully, again, I hope he goes to challengers and teams with Gunless, maybe, and like get some of that passion back. Him and Gunless is obviously pissed. He's obviously pissed. Get some anger in you. Get shooting. Win another challengers event. And I think if they win another challengers event, you'll see iLLeY and hopefully Gunless into the league right there with them winning. I do want to jump to this graphic, though, that we have, which is a very, very big W graphic here. Let me zoom out a little bit because it's a little too zoomed in. Here are the current...
Yeah. As you going to say this, like, do we think that Arcitys actually goes to challenges? Like,
no, I was going to say
we saw Clay do it in Vanguard, and that was a weird timeline for me. It's like, damn, Clay in challenges, but Slasher ain't playing in challenges. I can tell you that.
Bro, Slasher got dropped before, and he weren't going in challenges.
No way. Like he not relies on his stock because he's a good player, but like he knows that he's in a position and people respect him enough that they will give him offers. Like,
yeah,
I imagine that's the case.
He don't need to play
Arcitys
challenges to get a spot.
May be true for him as well. I think Arcitys has still, despite what the community might think, I still feel like Arcitys has enough decent reputation among the pros as a good player to get another chance. But like this, maybe it's a bit suspect for him, and it's very much last straw because he's not going to. I don't know if he'll play challenges. But what do you think?
He's not play. Listen, he will not play challenges. The only way he plays challenges, he plays it for fun with like Preston or something like that, just to keep his shot warm and have play some scrims, just keep it in there.
Pristini, iLLeY, Gunless back in challengers together. Holy fuck!
Nah, Gunless would never. Gunless. See, I think iLLeY going to challenges. iLLeY wouldn't go to challenges to increase his stock because his stock it's iLLeY, the same as Slasher. You know, he doesn't need to play to have that respect with the players. Has he been playing well in the league? No. Will he get another shot? Probably. You know, that's just the way it is.
Sorry, what
I think.
Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think Gunless is playing for his stock, whereas iLLeY wouldn't play for his stock. If you catch my, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, I see what you mean. I just want to add one thing too. Just like I see this faded taken here. People are speaking bad about Gunless, but like, bro, people don't understand Gunless. All his time in the CDL, he had a 1.03 over his entire span of the CDL. There's some weird narrative that he was shit in the CDL. I don't know where it comes from, but I don't know. Your mic didn't catch whatever you said, Reb.
I didn't say anything.
Oh, okay. It's just some weird, very weird notion that I've been hearing a lot from like someone in the chat, Ina online. Oh, you had your chance in the CDL 3 years or something. He had above a 1.0 in all his time in the CDL. Do you know how many players can't say they had above a 1.0 in their time in the CDL? More than 60% of players. I think it's more than 70, but I'll say confidently more than 60% of players cannot say that they had above a 1.0 overall in their course of time with the CDL. So that narrative needs to die because it's so stupid and so untrue. But
Lion Man, can you find out what I had, please? I want to see if I was any good.
I can tell you in a second. But we have this giant graphic from all the teams, all the rosters, all the landscapes. Do we want to give a grade to these moves or no? Or do we want to wait?
I mean, I think we should probably wait until they get confirmed because I think it's still a bit up in the air. But we can discuss a little bit because we don't even know Breach right now. I think we do a rating next week because we still might even see more dominoes fall. I do want to say more on Surge though, right? Because it's like, is this the friendship cheese for the French boys, or what are we seeing here? Because initially there are rumors that Cobra was coming in.
Yep.
And it was basically going to be Cobra, Abuza, Brezzy, and a Huke, which is just last year's Awoba Bobs, but with no Lins and with Huke there instead, which just sounds like the worst idea. So, as much as I think Cobra could be a solid player, but now they're not doing that anymore, and now they've got, maybe 0-4 in there, maybe Dak in there, depending on who Rokkr want or don't want. It's just a bit weird to me. I guess if it does mean that Abuza can actually run his preferred role, then fair enough. But the guy did block me on Twitter, so I'm praying on his downfall now.
Wait, why did he block you on Twitter?
I don't know.
Who blocked you?
Yeah, look, Abuza blocked you. It's still true.
What
I've
the
only been
fuck?
blocked by like 2 players ever. Temp blocked me for a bit of time, and then he unblocked me. So I think the only active pro to have me blocked is Abuza right now. So I'm just...
What did you do to Abuza, man?
I don't know. This is what I'm trying to... I don't blame him for not wanting to see some of the shit I tweet out.
I mean, I don't understand how more players haven't blocked me. I'd block me too.
Yeah, that's what I think as well. But so I got no issue with it.
Also, I just want to say,
tweets.
I just want to say that Cobra is not coming in. I think Arcitys kind of confirmed it in my thing today. I was like, I think it's just a straight Arcitys out, 0-4 in. That's it, done and dusted.
We've also got a tweet from Abuza, by the way. So, he blocked me, but I didn't get you very far, did it, buddy? But here we go.
You're on your burner.
Yeah, you know that.
Your fucking comedy.
Go and block us all, we got warriors out here.
Attack Rat Academy.
I threw it in the other chat.
But
he tweeted this out because I went to find this tweet the next day and then I couldn't see it anymore because I've been blocked. So, it happens. But, here you go. So he says, one guy says something, everyone believes him. Twitter's crazy. So I think this is after Jake Hell tweeted that they were looking to make a 2-man move maybe with Huke going as well. And then that didn't happen, or at least as it stands, it didn't happen.
Well, yeah, obviously one guy says something because everyone believes him because Rambo ain't saying shit.
That's true. That's a good point. Get nothing from Surge.
I'm getting my Surge news from Jacob Hale. Even when players get dropped, I don't find out from Surge or Ray. I find out from the players or Jacob before. It's wild.
I think I don't know. To me, there has to be some conspiring going on because if Brezzy's still in the team and Alex gone, that is the indicator to me that there's some BS happening. Truthfully, Brezzy played terribly. I don't know if anyone in chat would disagree with me. If you do disagree, please give me a reason why. But Brezzy does not look up to par with the CDL and playing against some of the best competition. He looked underwhelming. So I think it's some friendship cheese. I think it's some Euro cheese. And that's what it is. But we also missed one thing, by the way. I want to bring up this tweet as well. Not from Surge, unless you guys have any other words on Surge. Do we have anything else we want to touch on here?
No. All I'll say is, oui, je pense que c'est le fromage à minute de français.
I don't know what the fuck you just said, to be honest with you.
And sous ma bite.
Yeah, exactly. Well done, Trey. Well done, Trey.
Yeah. We have this tweet from...
means I think that it's the friendship cheese. Friendship cheese.
We have a tweet from Real, Heretics Real, saying from today, Madrid to Miami. That's a little teaser right there.
So someone came in my stream today and said, Vic was on stream now and said they're not making any crazy changes. And I said, well, yeah, obviously, because there's only one Spanish player left in the fucking world. So of course I'm going to make any special changes. And he asked me, do I think they're going to change? I think if you're 0 and 12 map count on LAN I think you are guaranteed to change, and if you don't, you are on the highest of crack of all time. If we see the same four go into the league, I think we are in a serious issue. You've got him as Visa. You drop Journey. Listen, if he's not in for Major 3, big issue.
Why is everyone in the chat typing penis? Okay. Even Rab typed it. What the hell is going on in the chat right now?
Sharon Banning came in with a first-time chat and just dropped the penis drop in the chat, so I just thought.
All right, well, I sucked in the CDL there. I had a 0.97, so.
Oh my god, this guy's so washed.
Dog shit. No, I'm just kidding. But no, it's good to see. I hope Real, this Madrid to Miami move from Real is real, and it's not just like they're not. Yeah, if they don't change, that's just kind of insane. Eric Boom was definitely underwhelming this entire stage, and he's been getting shit on. He was costing them on LAN. And you had Metals, who stage 1 was really good, actually, and all of a sudden now can't shoot back. So I don't know what's going on with the Heretics camp. Clearly, they're not making the best. Maybe clearly they're not making the best moves, best decisions, coaching decisions. Hopefully, Real is the. I don't think he's going to be the saving grace or the Wonder Man, the Superboy, but he is someone that is clearly good. Yeah, he's clearly good. I think we need to see him get on the team, make an impact, so Real can get. I think it's going to be like a transition team for him. Real's going to be pretty good, like a Gwyn, and then get picked up a year or two later by another team. That's how I kind of think this is what's going to be Real's path on this Heretics team.
Like I said, the only way I get proven wrong is if they come in and he fries. But for me, it was just the standard one Spanish player out, one Spanish player in. Same tactics, same everything like that. You know, maybe they need a assistant coaching change. Maybe Boston are setting a standard.
Right, Method 6 gonna be coming at you again. He might hit you with that.
No, he's not the assistant coach. He's not the assistant coach.
Yeah, but do they have an assistant coach then?
Nah, they'll find one just to fire him. It's the meta now.
That's a good shout.
It's the meta now.
Bring me in, pay me for a month, and then
and get rid of me.
That'll be fine.
Hopefully it works.
I think like with this team, why is there so many politics in the Spanish scene? Because Journey seems to be like the only player who straddles the gap. Because Journey was dropped here, and then he's gone straight onto that 5 Media Clan, whatever they're called, team with Super and like, you know, I don't know who else is still there, but it's Super, Rencor, Yako, and those guys. That he's Sucre or whatever. One of them's gone and Journey's in anyway, and that's how it's gone. But like, none of those got. Super is actually nasty, but yeah, for some reason Journey's the only guy that's kind of liked by both factions of this Spanish
Journey fried on NA Challenger teams too. So does the Trey, you know, cheese still come about where Spanish players on American teams are actually good players? It's just the Spanish tactics that suck. Yeah, probably. Is Trey ever wrong? No.
There we go again, man. There we go again. I want to let's bring up one more point too, from this whole graphic. Someone brought it up in chat. I don't know who it was exactly, but for New York, right? We have there's a little convo about New York. If New York don't make a grand finals, do they stick or do they change?
You know about question from Easy Gunner 23 here, like basically because we're not quite at the end of the runner show, but my thinking was, if you guys want to put questions in, we'll go through.
Yeah, yo, chat. I'll say in general, yeah, chat. If you guys have any Q&A questions right now, please put them in the chat right now, and we'll answer. You know, a good 2 to 5 questions that are solid at the end of the show. You get our takes on them. So please type in whatever questions you have. Let's answer this one from Easy Gunna first.
Right. So this is my point. There's no one you drop on any of the top 4 teams and bring someone in that makes them better.
I disagree fully. You want me to propose the change?
Go for it.
Okay. If you're in subliner, I'm being devil's advocate, so don't say this is. I'm not advocating for any of these changes. I'm being devil's advocate right now in all these cases. So let's start with OpTic. If in OpTic's case, let's say they end up not really winning anything this year, it's not too good. I think at that point, you have to make a swap for Brandon because you've done the experiment long enough. I do love him as a player. I think he's been a lot better this year, but the experiment has gone on long enough. You have to make an idea to maybe switch out for him.
That was your best player in the league, though.
No, I said best
Bro's hating, that's
AR.
crazy.
Best AR.
Bro's
I
an
didn't say
OpTic
that.
hater.
Did not say that. FaZe, I mean, they already won a tournament, so I don't know if I don't think a change here even makes sense, to be honest, because they already won a tournament, so it's not even worth talking about. Subliners are interesting, right? Because world champs, one of the best years ever in COD history last year for a single game, and now they're fighting for the top 4, but still kind of mixy and inconsistent within that realm of the top 4. I think if you automatically, the blame is just going to lie on Dante, on Sib. It's not that it's what you want to do, but it's the piece of the puzzle that is basically kind of like they told Asim, you're the odd man out. In this case, Dante is quote unquote the odd man out. Who would you pick up? That's a different question, but if someone came from the top of my head, I would think this is Rogue, but Attach. I think Attach makes that team really good. Ultra, interesting as well. I think the only player here, again, is the odd man out. Envoy is, but the Envoy question is weird because who else could you swap in for Envoy? I don't know. Maybe Gwyn, maybe. But he has proven his Envoy? Hell nah. So I don't know. I don't think that's who you could swap in. But again, if I had to pick one person from each of the top 4 teams to swap out, if you had to, this is a hypothetical. If you had to, who would you pick? And anyone saying Attach question mark is you guys are out of your minds.
Bro just like made us up his own question. I gotta respect it.
Right, listen. There's no player that comes outside the top 4 that makes these top 4 teams better. Maybe a change within the top 4 makes these teams better, but no one from outside the top 4 makes any of these teams better. That's a fact.
I'd still disagree.
I think it depends a little bit. Like, if I look at the New York team, Kismet has been excellent last year. But Kiss just hasn't been individually as impactful this year. And obviously Kismet does a lot more than just that you see on the scoreboard. But I don't know, you look at the performances of that team this year and you do see that Kismet on an individual level has not been as strong as he was last year statistically. And there were some important series, I mean, even at this event, when they got to the final rounds, they got to a final search and destroy, and Kiz didn't quite have the dog that maybe we expected. And maybe Kismet's the glue. Maybe he's that, that gorilla glue. But I thought that was meant to be Priest who was there last season, right? So I think there was a question there as to whether there could be. If Kiz plays as he did at certain times recently, there is an argument to say that a different player in that position alongside Hydra could improve the team. I think that I would never get rid of Skies. I think that the only reason why I would get rid of Sib if this is some sort of internal team dynamics thing, or if somebody like Dashy becomes available and then all of a sudden you've got a big question on your market. I don't really buy the Attach idea personally because I just don't think he plays fast enough. Like, I don't think Attach and Skies makes any sense to me.
I think it makes a lot of sense. I think that team doesn't need more. That team doesn't need more kills. I think that team needs calculation and proper movement on the map.
Well, if it doesn't need more kills, then you don't need Attach.
Attach gets kills. That's his job.
Yeah.
Wait. Well, see. This is the problem. We're arguing the question like I want the change. I hate this.
No.
Context.
Yeah, no, but you're trying to change out a faster guy that gets more kills, or right? So Skies and Sib both faster than Attach, both get kills. So what's the difference?
You said Skies. And Sib wait. Talking about Slop. Skies and Sib are faster than Attach.
Up.
Gameplay-wise, yeah.
According to who? Slayer rating is higher. BP Slayer rating is higher on Attach than both those guys.
Okay, I'll look at the minimap, not BP Slayer rating.
I mean, what do you want? He has more kills, higher KD. I mean, what do you want from me here? Hardpoint, let's go hardpoint stats. Attach, 4th in hardpoint stats. Only people above him are Simp, Scrap, and Nero. And Cellium, then Insight,
then Hydra. They're on the top 4 teams. Of course he's going to have more kills. What? He's got Hydra running in front of him, not fucking Purge.
That's not my point, though. You said faster, and you're talking. That's not what you said, though. Now you're saying something else.
You're saying. Look at the Slayer rate and everything. I'm looking at the mini map. I'm straight up looking at who's faster, who works. Bro,
it's very interesting the reaction to that thought. And again, fine. Take on the question. If you had to drop one person from the top 4 teams, and replace them. I only replaced one, to be fair. So the subline one, maybe just that one. If you had to drop one person from the top 4 teams, who would you drop?
And also, what's even the question? Like, let's answer the man's question.
The guy
His
said, "Does
question
New York
was,
even
if-
stick?"
No, I
if they
answered. I answered. The odd man out would obviously be Dante. We all understand that. I think
That's all his question there. Am I faded right now? His question was, do New York stick if they don't make it to at least a grand final? We'll answer that first, then we can go to
if
your
they're
part.
talking about throughout the whole league, if they don't win an event, they'll probably end up changing.
Yeah, I think I
agree.
After
Yeah.
winning the World Championship, if you don't make a finals, even if you don't win, I think you probably change. So, especially because they've made an interesting change. My point is, like, do you bring back P-Dog? Do you think, you know what? It ain't working with Sib. We won the World Championship with his previous team. Priester back in, run it back. Because that might be a mentality. I don't think that would be a good decision.
Is it not working, or is it just high-end gameplay that they're just like, because they're beating Ultra, all right? They should be like, you know, you look at that map versus OpTic where they should have won the invasion because they outslayed them by 1 million kills. Like, there's obviously something going wrong with New York's gameplay in terms of how they're playing hardpoint, because it's obviously they're getting the kills, but they're not getting the points to match it. So maybe you look at it like that. But I think if New York don't win an event this year, it has to be an event win. If you don't win an event and you're a top 4 team, you're going to change, realistically.
Who do you bring in then?
I don't bloody know. Maybe the top 4... Maybe.
He's gone. What about that? He's been cooked. They shut him down. He's just kicked him from the call.
I didn't do anything.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello?
What the hell?
Hello.
My
Go
Discord just
back.
refreshed for some reason. Oh, no.
The fuck?
Ace kicked me off because I said...
That's what I said. Yeah.
No.
You're about to cook him.
My point is that no one really, in my opinion, outside the top 4, unless they start getting shit on, makes these teams better. I think whoever wins champs, the other 3 will change, and they'll interchange with each other. Like, let's say FaZe win champs, for example. I see OpTic making a trade with Scrap and Dashy.
That could happen.
And the reason that makes sense to me is obviously Scrappy is high profile, very OpTic like. Dashy, you know, we say he hasn't won an event or anything like that. Dashy would go over to Toronto, plus it's his hometown. He'd have he'd have Toronto going crazy. It'd be like Drake going over there type shit.
Okay,
But in my opinion, I think the top 4 teams would interchange with each other.
Bro, chat is on dick right now. This is fucking. This pissed me off right now. This pissed me off badly, right? Because you spew that bullshit, and they go with me. Attach as a main AR, it wouldn't work for Sid, but no one calls out the fact that you just said Scrap for Dashy, a main AR for not a main AR. Chat.
Yeah,
y'all are
I'm
fucking
just
dumb. This is
my point
proof.
is-
This is proof right now.
My point is everyone like there's no flex player anymore.
So then again, okay, so if that's true, then my other take isn't faded. I win. Thank you, chat. I'll take that. Thank you, Trey. You validated what I said there. Thank you.
Well, no, there are slower and faster players.
And then by Slayer rating and engagements, attaches faster.
I mean, but if you
I'm
wanna,
appalled at
if
chat.
it-
I'm appalled at chat for their reaction. It's not.
But like
I promise it's not a cue.
it's the same shit as Huke's the best player on Seattle. Yet I watched him cost 2 situations where they would have won the map because I looked at the mini map. I didn't look at his Slayer rating.
I agree. Listen, I agree 100%. I agree 100%. And I'm saying attached from the mini map. Very good.
Guys, you got to understand as well. When I'm saying like the changes I'm seeing, I'm just saying like the top 4 teams are going to interchange with each other. All right, Scrap obviously don't want to let go of. Toronto obviously wouldn't want to let go of Scrap, but you know we live in a world where those things can happen. I'm not saying that Insight could be dropped or anything like that. But are we not making it out like Dashy can't play faster like he was on Black Ops 4 when he was a fucking Maddox player? Like, come on, bro.
Exactly. I agree with you. Listen, I internally agree with you. I'm only cheesing the principle of how chat jumped on me for saying the swap from a main AR to a flex is so crazy. But then you say it and they're like, yay! Trey Zero says it.
Bro, people don't understand that. People don't understand that play stars exist. I was a main AR on IW, and then on World War II, I had to change to a sub. Like, these play styles exist. Dashy obviously doesn't have Formal next to him anymore, who Formal was the slow AR player. So guess what? Formal retires, Dashy has to step back, play slower. Insight, always been a slower AR player. Scrappy, I guarantee if Insight left and they picked up another person like in place of Insight that was a bit faster, Scrappy or the other guy would have to play a bit slower. That's how playstyles work. Welcome to Call of Duty, ladies and gentlemen, where the pro players can move as fast and as slow as they need to. Congratulations. Shotzi, for example. Everyone said Shotzi needed to play slower. Guess what he done? Played slower. Dropped a fucking absolute crazy KD throughout the whole of Major 2. Didn't have a greatest LAN event of all time. But guess what? He played slower. Why? Because he's a professional player and he had to. Wow. Playstyles exist, everyone. Welcome to my fucking TED Talk.
Okay, wait, you answered OpTic. So it would be likely Bruce. Subliners, we said Dante. If Ultra, if you have to pick one.
FaZe is always Drazah because
he's odd man out.
Whoever the fourth guy is that joins FaZe, I apologize if you don't win champs or anything like that. You're probably getting dropped because that's just the way it is. They have the solidified greatest trio in the CDL.
And then Ultra, who would you pick as your one man?
I mean, it's probably going to have to be Envoy. Envoy, odd one out. They got second and won with Hixie at champs. They won and got second at champs with Hixie. They've already won an event with Envoy this year, so they're already on track to do. All they need is a win at champs or a second at champs to do anything over that. But I mean, listen, I could be I am spewing some sort of bullshit. I'm not saying if you're not on a top 4 team, you're not going to make it on there. There can be those things. I just think the high profile players are going to try and join the top 4 teams. And obviously, if you don't win champs, your team's most likely changing. Unless FaZe win every single event this year and then get second at champs, they probably won't change. But in my opinion, if you don't win champs, your team's most likely changing. Unless you're subliners and you fucking change after you do win champs. Fair enough. Ballsy play. We got star players like Gwyn on a bad team or so-called bad team, but he's frying. We've got Lins, who had a good start to Major 2, kind of slipped off a little bit, but I kind of, predicted that with that OpTic loss. There are teams that can make it onto the top 4 teams. I just think the top 4 teams right now, if you were to say, right, you guys need to change, are just going to jumble upon each other and make the best out of their top 4 teams.
It's difficult to find any player from outside of that I'd put in, because going into the season, pretty much the best 16 players in the league were on the best 4 teams. There were maybe a couple of players I would potentially argue a slasher from last year, and maybe you could argue a Tatch or something. They were maybe in that top 15 category, they're one of those teams, but it's pretty damn close. And looking at this league, I can only really see, maybe Lins, maybe Gwyn, some of those rookie, lots of future potential SMG players that could do a job possibly in a top team. Those are the only guys I really look at as being viable.
Ghosty, Attach, Gwyn.
Ghosty is probably another one, actually.
Yeah, Ghosty, Attach, Gwyn, and if he keeps up the pace, Nero, and then if he can be healthy, Ender. Those are the 5 players that can make it up to a top 4 team.
That's actually a good list for me.
I think Nero has to have a whole year being not a whole year, but it
has to be.
He has his inconsistency.
His problem is
he has when Apathy used to play and we used to say he had donk strength or something like that, donk mode. Yeah. Nero has that. All right, Nero has that. Now you could take some of these players from the top teams and create a team that could compete with the top 4, Attach, Ghosty, Lins, and Nero. That could be a solid team. Would it win an event? I don't know, but it could cause an upset against the top 4 teams, especially, Ultra not looking good in S&D, Subliners, not looking, they're good, but, they look pretty kill hoary in hardpoint, if you want me to be real with you. I'm not saying that no one outside the top 4 teams can make it onto a top 4 team. I just think it's very, very hard, especially when teams like OpTic, FaZe, Subliners, Ultra, when they make a change, when FaZe made a change for Arcitys, they got Slasher. When they made a change for Slasher, They got the next best thing, Drazah. You know what I'm saying? It's not like they went after some rookie. They went after the best player in a row on a different team. You know, OpTic. They went for the best sub in World War II. Pred. They didn't go for someone else. They didn't take a risk. They went for the best player. You know, they're not. These ain't players that just take risks. The only team that's took a risk on a player, really, in my opinion, has been New York when they picked up Hydra in Cold War.
That's a take. Again, I'll say the top 4 teams are the top 4 teams. After this is a reflection of what 4 years of CDL. The best players have all just leaked up and drifted up to the top of the cup. They're all there. This is a reflection of 4 years of the proven best talent in the best 4 spots. That's literally what we're seeing and showcased right now. Are any of those lists that we're saying of who could be dropped and who could be moved the truth? No, absolutely not. We're just speculating and having a silly goose time just for the sake. But if you guys have any more questions, please drop any questions you guys have before.
What do you think about Thieves real quick? Like, I want to discuss this Thieves team because if I look at the top 4 teams, the team that which organization next year is going to, let's say the top 4 teams, swap things around, but they're still the top 4 teams. Which organization is best positioned to try and build a challenging roster? It ain't Miami. It ain't Gorillas. It ain't the Ravens.
Breach.
It's not London. It's not.
No. It's not Breach, bro. Because you know
it's
why?
It's not Surge.
You know,
I mean, if they have Snoopy, but
they're
saying,
franchise tagging an unproven rookie. Okay, it's Rokkr.
If you think Rokkr, I think it's Thieves because they have the profile to join them.
Money, brother. Money is the problem here.
Thieves, I mean, you think Rokkr? You think Rokkr are going to go out and throw the bag?
I think G2 is going to go out and throw the bag. Yes.
I don't see it happening. Really, I don't. Wow. Now, if Breach blew it all up, they have the best shot in my opinion because they have the money and they want to be the top team. Now, maybe Snoopy turns into fucking Super Saiyan after these roster changes, and then everyone wants to join Breach and he's the next Hydra Simp or whatever like that. G2 do have money. You are correct. G2 do have money, but my point is, no one in the scene besides the top 4 teams are throwing money around. Really.
I mean, I agree. This is the biggest problem with the league. That's why the expansion would have been good, because you have teams with money who come in and could shake things up. This is one of the good parts if you did expand. It's just clearly seen that the CDL is a money drain. Thieves have seen it. Surge have seen it. Legion never, just always been that way. Ravens pretty much have been that way. Gorillas learned it the hard way. And now all you have left is G2, Breach, and Heretics. Heretics could be a sleeper one, honestly, as well, because we don't know like the amount of capability and how much investment they want to make into non-Spanish COD, which is possible. It just might just be the first year where they decided, let's get our OG guys back and make it the Heretics of old and make it like have some nostalgia. But Heretics could be a team that spends a lot of money and makes a good roster, like a decent roster at least. But yeah, I think
the Heretics will always be a Spanish-owned org just because Heretics is Spanish.
I agree, but I'm saying to you, they are the sleeper within this conversation. The other 8, out of the 8, the sleepers, Heretics, Breach, if they blow it up completely and reset, they can pull the most talent because they have the most money. But at this moment, the only team in the bottom 4 that has a chance to build a good roster is Rokkr, and even we see that now with them, the proposed buyout or buy or swap or trade or whatever it is of iLLeY, they're actually making some moves, right? They're not just taking some challengers kid and making a swap. So
for sure,
I think Rokkr has the best bet.
I just want to let people know that just because G2 are in doesn't mean they're going to throw money. It just means that there was a nice spot to go and join the league with Rokkr. There was obviously a money issue, or it's a lot of money to pay because Rokkr wanted to merge with them. That doesn't mean they're just going to throw money in there. No one's throwing money into COD. I'm telling you that now. There's a few teams that are throwing money in, and Breach is one of them. Look at Thieves, for example. They downgraded their team essentially because they had to budget cut. Really, that was the thing about it. They had to get rid of players because the salaries are too high. I'm pretty sure even after they won champs, they had to take a salary decrease or stay on the same salary because of the budgets. Like, that's COD for you. The COD salaries are pretty fucking high, and that's the differential with these teams. the only reason I say Thieves is a sleeper one is because Thieves have a profile that when you join them, you're joining Thieves. Everything's nice over there. You know, you might get more money on Rokkr, but you're certainly going to get more of a incentive to join Thieves. You've got Nadeshot running the org. You've got it's Thieves. They're solidified. Heretics, they're just going to stay Spanish. They could, I don't know. Surge, yeah, no hope. Fucking London, put them under Vegas. It took them. They're on major. We're on major 3, and they've just got a facility. Like, is there any point? Yeah, I think. I do believe there is. I do believe the league can be more competitive than it is now. Obviously, it's very top heavy, but I don't even think it's money. I think it's just I just think it's bad decision making, really, if I'm being honest with you. There's a lot of these teams that players are on the same amount of money on different teams. The GMs just don't pick them up.
Which team? This question from NY Jesse here. Let's say these roster changes happen. Which team is the 5th best team? Because tough to say
on paper.
Moment. Yeah, I guess we're talking LAN as well. And if you want to look
Gorillas.
at it like that, because I know, yeah, right?
Might have to be, honestly.
It might have to be good, because I want to say Legion still, but I can't really justify off the major.
I think the team that can most improve is Thieves. Now, you're hoping Joe Deceives brings that slaying power from challenges that Afro didn't have in Hardpoint. And then you're hoping Joe Deceives brings S&D that Afro did have. I really like I said, I'm a big fan of the nasty ghosty duo. I think Kremp actually, turned up a little bit. I think he had a slow start, but now he's there. I think, Joe Deceives just has to pick up on what Afro didn't have, which was some fucking damage, some more kills, and he actually has to play well in S&D because Afro was their best S&D player, in my opinion.
Mayhem says Joe is him in the chat. Hopefully we get to see that, I think he's a talented player for sure. There's a reason why he stood out on that Gorillas team last season and Exceed didn't.
Did you guys completely forget about Ravens? You keep bringing up LAG on LAN, but Ravens have done the same thing with better talent.
Yeah,
the reason that we bring up Gorillas is because they literally look like absolute dog shit. Now Ravens didn't look crazy online for sure, but LAG were just the laughing stock, weren't they? Like everyone.
Yeah, I mean, Ravens went top 8, top 6, and Gorillas went top 6, top 6. So it's technically Gorillas have done a bit better on LAN. But Ravens really should have been top 6 first major as well. They deserve credit also, but I don't think that they're... It's just tough to say who the 5th best team in the league is right now. Maybe it just doesn't.
Yeah, if I'm going to argue for anyone, it's going to be Legion. That's my argument for 5th. Like, it's going to be Legion, Gorillas on LAN.
I think they're the most complete team, to be honest.
Yes, because you can't just say... If you're saying just LAN, okay, yeah, then you have to make a case for Gorillas. But overall, across the board, online and LAN altogether, Legion... I think have to be considered the 5th best, but I do think going into Major 3, the split and the actual event, I think we're going to see a really big jumble considering the map set changing, a map being put in, a map being removed, and all these changes to the rosters. I think, again, it's going to be a big jumble of the bottom 8 teams, and then the top 4 are going to be fighting within their little top 4 spots. So just a rotation within the top 4 and the bottom 8, just swapping spots again and again. Most improved though.
People now remember had an interesting. I'll just mention it because he wanted us to talk about it. Like talking about blowing up the top teams. His theory was that if FaZe win champs, could we see a team of 3 of Sib, Kenny, and Envoy on Thieves next year?
No.
My feeling is it comes down to the money. I don't really see how that makes sense. I think you could see Kenny and Envoy team up again, maybe with Sib on some top 4 team, but unless Thieves magic up a load of money, I don't see that sense. I also don't know if OpTic get rid of Kenny. On current trajectory, I was thinking about this the other day. Actually, during the major, I was thinking, damn, Dashy and Scrappy would be a crazy good AR duo. But then by the end of the major, I was thinking, damn, Kenny and Scrappy would be a crazy good AR duo, based on the way that the tournament concluded. So I just don't see OpTic getting rid of Kenny.
I think for me, OpTic has turned into the, and I know Pred's on there, and I've still said this, like Pred is, in my opinion, I still believe Simp and Abizi and Hydra and all that, but Pred is up there with like those top 4 SMGs. Let's be real. You're like, I don't know where you put them. I put Sib up top. Not Sib, sorry. I put Simp up top, and then the other 3, they just jumble around because they're so fucking good. I think the only person that's always safe on OpTic is Shotzzy at these points.
Yeah.
In my opinion. I think Dashy was there, but, you know, I love Brandon. And everyone says he played bad versus FaZe, but he played well versus FaZe and Vanguard. Like everyone always used to say like everyone's like trashing him for playing bad versus FaZe. Oh, he always plays bad versus FaZe. No, he used to slam FaZe back on Vanguard. He did. I just think OpTic need an event win. And how long are they going to go, you know, with the same players before they get one? That's where I stand with OpTic.
I just don't think they should get rid of Kenny, but I have a fear that they.
I listen. I love Kenny.
If they were to lose,
I love Kenny. Like actually, I think he's been by far their most influential player on that team. The way that they can be losing a game and he gets them out of spawns, the way his comms are amazing. Like actually, he's like. You can tell that he played with Octane because Octane's comms are flawless and Kenny's is just as good. And I think that's why that LA Thieves team, when they played together, was so good as well.
Kenny right now is where he deserves to be. I'm gonna say that, bro. His career, you've watched since World War II, even AW he was good, but since World War II to now, Kenny's exactly at the level he should be. He should be on the LAT team. He should be on OpTic now. He deserves every bit of where he is now, considering how good of a teammate, player, comms, throughout the year, how he gets better and better. He performs in big moments. Kenny is that guy. So I think Kenny absolutely deserves to be up here and is in the right place.
Kenny's like one of those players that I could see going on any of these top 4 teams and like they'd like either get better or stay the same. You know what I'm saying?
Kenny's not costing you. It's just not happening.
Yeah, especially on LAN, bro. Like, bro, this guy was him.
And
he was. No, I'm saying like just from the past major.
Oh, okay.
Like, I'm not saying. Yeah. I'm not saying. Yeah, no, I'm not. I can't gas him up that much and say it was. I'm just saying like Kenny was him this past major.
Yeah.
And then he like stopped OpTic losing that major one too with that crazy 4-piece or 3-piece that he got.
Yeah.
Like this guy has got it, and like you said, he deserves it. He deserves to win a chip. If we're being honest with you, like he is putting on that. He's putting the fucking squad.
Kenny always goes up on LAN. I mean,
Kenny might be the only player left that if FaZe get rid of Drazah, he's the only player I think that could swap the spot in and make that spot better.
Scrappy in there, bro.
Oh yeah, I mean, Scrappy too. I guess.
Obviously, I think
Scrappy or Ken though. I think they'd be pretty elite in that spot, honestly.
See, I like Ken so much is because he gives you kills, but he also gives me like envoy type players too. Like he for me, he does it all. That's why I like him so much. Yeah. Whilst common, IGLing or whatever you want to call it, like he is just like, yeah, call it all amount of glazing you want, but yeah, like
I think he would improve every team.
He would improve, in my opinion.
Apart from maybe FaZe.
I think he would improve FaZe just on the comms aspect.
Maybe that's also true. That actually might be right. Maybe
I'm not saying Drazah doesn't have that. I'm just saying like, you know, if you know, when you said about Rab, FaZe's issues on a Sunday might be comms, Kenny could solve that. But right now, you know, I'm actually, it's exciting when you watch these top 4 teams play because, like we said, FaZe didn't get mollywop. FaZe didn't mollywop OpTic in the final by no means. It was a very close final. I just think if you were OpTic, that was your perfect chance to beat FaZe.
The other question I saw from Scrafted Boy was, if FaZe win champs, where does Simp and Abizi slot into the top 10 of all time?
Do
they become
3 and 4.
Because
Now-
if they win champs this year, they'll be 3-time world champions. For me, it's like a bit of a nostalgia merchant. I have a pretty hard time dislodging some of the real top guys, but I think at that point they're definitely
They're 3 and 4.
3 and 4. To me, it feels a bit of a stretch. What do you think, Trey? But
If they win champs,
I think by the time they're done, by the time it's all said and done, they will be 1 and 2, in my opinion. The only reason is like, right, you put them 2 in the CWO area, which you already did, right? First year and or whatever like that, they won champs or won an event or anything like that. Correct. And then you got to make out like how many events there were as well back then. You know, there's a lot of events. It's hard for them to catch up on the events that, you know, we had so many back then. It's hard for them to catch up. 3 world championships, average place in a 2.7 or whatever it is. Like, the level of consistency they're showing, like, by the time it's all said and done, they're going to be 1 and 2, done and dusted. Like, I don't think anyone can argue with that.
Yeah, I wouldn't argue. I think that's a great argument for them to be 1 and 2. The only person left at that point, I think, even just as hot take, but I don't even think Scum could compete with them at that point. The only person left is Crim6, but it's a different skill level, and the amount of LAN events or just events in general are uncomparable. So once you take into account, if you were to adjust Crim's yearly events and stuff for them, yeah, end of the day, man.
Their finals record is still too shit, in my opinion. They haven't won enough finals. They don't have the dog in them when they get to the finals in the same way.
That's understandable, but like,
they haven't won
but like
events in the grand.
Three world championships, though, Rab. No one cares about the events if you win champs.
You win 3 events and you make it to the grand finals. Like, champs, I know that it's weird for me.
Wait, what do you mean? Yeah, but if you won 3,
champs nowadays is cheese, right? I mean, like you start.
No, but
there's less matches than there used to be. It's playoffs basically. Champs back in the day.
Yeah, but like we're talking. This is the highest level of competition, Rab.
Yeah,
we played.
Rab,
we played plumbers back in the day, bro.
Yeah, I know. That is also true.
Rab, the people that made it through open bracket. This is why this argument is semi-flawed. The only reason I back the case of open bracket is because it was more time consuming, like grueling. All right, there was a tad more matches to play, but any team that made out of open bracket got fucking world starred.
Pretty much.
That is pretty much true. Yeah.
So we've just scrapped the teams getting world starred, and we've put them in a confined 12-team bracket of. Obviously we say the 48 best players in the world or 64, whatever it is. The only thing different about the CWO time was it was more time consuming. Like, there was more matches, especially a hit loser bracket. Fuck me, that was a grueler. But we might have to put the, it's easier in the CWO because you're guaranteed this, and this. You're not guaranteed it. They work for it throughout the whole season. By being as consistent as they are. Yeah, their finals record isn't great, but they've probably got more finals than most of the teams put together.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is true. I think for me, I would probably put them. They win champs. I think they go 5th, 6th for me. I think I still have Crim, Scump, Clay, and Karma ahead of them, but they clear everybody else.
But it's all longevity as well, It's all like
another year.
It's all how long they've been playing for. But like the way I see it, bro, to come in like this and just absolutely dominate,
and
has been like
dominate and be undoubtable. There's no one else. Every year you're assembling a team to beat who? FaZe. There's only one team you're assembling a team to beat. No one's looking at, I'm making a team to beat OpTic. No one gives a shit about that. Don't give a shit about beating subliners. They give a shit about beating FaZe.
I saw a video from Crowder today, and it just backs my point that, like, he was kind of like backing my case on the fact of like the CDL to CWO argument is so flawed because there was way lesser teams, like way worse teams. Like, you got put in your 4 groups of 4. You knew who was coming out of there before you even started. I used to show up to some of those fucking. I sit back, Legs crossed. All right, boys. All right, yeah, 2-0. All right, I'm gonna go to the bar. Like, come on, bro. I was still playing Killer back in Black Ops 3.
Nah, don't do that to Killer.
Disrespect Dream Team, bro.
Yeah, Dream Team was
Killer,
they were doing something, man. Relax, man.
Diabolic.
That's a serious
I played Aches on Black Ops 3 when they had that like they literally looked like a fucking criminal in that fucking black and white fucking prison outfit.
On the 100T, you were there on 100T for that event. They won 0 map.
Yeah.
Good times.
Guys.
And yeah. Yeah.
You had something to say? I thought you can't just that one.
No,
I'm
not. I just wanted to say I wasn't disrespecting Killer. I just think Black Ops 3 was a bit past his time. Same with Aches,
that guy just banned the NA and ran the Man of War. Their team would ban.
Yeah, and I banned Stock.
The Man of War in Ban and Pretend because they loved it that much.
And I banned Stock, so enjoy.
Prime cheese days.
Good work. Well, boys. I think we've covered everything we've intended to cover. We've gone through every team so far, all the rumors. Some teams unconfirmed, right? So next week we'll go through a full rating of all the teams, all the changes, all the finalizations. I don't have anything final to add here, but guys, anything final to add?
I don't think so. I think you summed it up well. I mean, another unreal week in the world of the CDL. You can't make this shit up. We've got roster drama to the hilt. We've got player drama going down. We've got to decide the map set before the qualifiers begin. It's kind of handy we have this little break here so the pros can hopefully actually try some of these maps and keep things extra juicy. iLLeY's back out of nowhere. Love to see it. The season keeps getting more and more interesting. What do you think, Trey?
I do love a good roster change.
My god, do I love a good roster change.
I do love a good roster change.
I'm actually going to turn up next week with a fat wad so I can replicate the Drazah.
I'm gonna keep my money in my bank because I have no need for $2,000 to be sat on my desk.
Flex, bro.
I'm also gonna stay away from the drama. I'll peep it from the sidelines. But I hope there's more drama on the way.
Absolutely.
Because it gives us something to talk about and it gives the chat, oh my god, look at this, and hopefully there's some drama that goes on live whilst we're on the show because it'd be like breaking news type shit.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it will be happening.
Yeah, the best we got was the breaking news of the map set changing. So that's some, right? New maps, new faces, new teams. The good old CDL, guys. Matches start in about 2 weeks. We'll have the finalization of all the rosters and more ahead. Friday, catch the next Dope Check episode. Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern time. That's when it'll be on. And then the full regular Dope Check slot, Mondays, 4 p.m. every Monday with all of us. Me, Ace the Stocksman, Tactical Rab, and the EU GOAT, Trey Zero. That is Dope Check episode 14. We thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and we will see you next week. We're out.